jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
in the building. Mr. Golden, the OG on deck, man. What it do, brother? Good morning to everybody that's in the building. You already know what it is, man. Cooking with Sir Senior on deck. Yes, sir. WCS salute. Salute to you, brother. Don Vaughn is in the building. Salute WCS in the chat. Been off YT streets for a bit. Hope all is good, man. You good, man. You know what I'm saying? The invitation is always open. You know what I'm saying? You can be off. You got to handle business, dog. For whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? You got to take care of what you got to take care of, man. Do your thing. Don is in the building. Let's get it. Yes, indeed, man. We here for another one at work and it's slow as shit. Hey, I feel you on that. I remember those days, man. When I was young enough, okay, when work was slow as hell, I could find something to do. This was no internet now. This was no internet. You know what I'm saying? You had to find some things to do. Most of the time it was push-ups, go outside, do some pull-ups. You know, I was in the service. Like if I was off, of course, my time I'd be in the streets with the bike, stuff like that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? The crazy part about it is that it's a lot more you have to improvise when you don't have no freaking online services, no internet. You had to do certain things to improvise. Now, the first thing people do when time is slow, they find their phone. They reach their back pocket, they reach wherever it's at, they grab their phone and try to see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. But hopefully, it's college game day. You know what I'm saying? It's college game day. So that's where a lot of people are going to be focused at. What's going on. I'm definitely rocking with Colorado this year, behind my Georgia Bulldogs. Because Prime, he did give us some shine when he was down here in the ATL. You know what I'm saying? He did. You know what I'm saying? That's when he was prime time. You know what I'm saying? Now he's just prime, but I knew him when he was prime time. I knew him when he had the Jerry curl. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I knew him when he had the Jerry curl. So I like what he got going on with Colorado, and definitely how he's pushing them, and the school, the program, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Prime doing his thing. Shout out to Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw. And that is the news. You know what I'm saying? In the building. What's good with it? Crawford calls the shots, tell them stop crying. Yeah, we have to get to them. We have to address the obvious, y'all. We have to address the obvious. You know what I'm saying? We have to address the obvious. The Jerry Curl and gold chains prime time. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? One of my faces on my Mount Rushmore, as far as players, entertainers, all that encompassed and packaged in one. That was prime time, man. And he was blessed with incredible speed, man. So to get down to it, I want to give a salute to the hottest chat in the MFing game. You better know it. A-side, A-side, A-side official. That's how we going every time we pull up. You know what I'm saying? It's A-side official. We doing the talking and the B-side doing the walking. Don't get mad. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad because we march different. You know what I'm saying? Don't get mad. Nobody ain't trying to hear that. Nobody is trying to hear all the whining and complaining. So I talked about the herd mentality. It's not the first time it's been mentioned in conversation and dialogue on this YouTube and in life. But unfortunately, as I continue to listen to these voices, I have to consider them to be voices. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm really not trying to start smoke with everybody that's lost and confused and delirious on this topic. I'm not, because I don't want them to believe that just because it's more than one, that will help them with the assist if it came down to us going back and forth in the debate about why they are considered the snotty boys. The snotty boys are the aerosexuals who have continued to cry and flood the airways with snot, mucus, and emotions. You know what I'm saying? Those are the snotty boys. I just, it's a little irksome to listen to grown adults try to come up with malicious tales to say, oh, this should be happening. If he don't do this, if he don't do that. Let me kind of clarify a little bit on what I'm talking about. Since the July 29th T-Mobile massacre, it's been people on here trying to create and falsify lies. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being pretentious. They've been fake. They was fake before the fight happened, and they super fake after the fight happened. What had went down was the fact that we witnessed one of the best fights of this era. And being that we was able to witness that great fight. I mean, well, we was able to witness the lead up to a potential great fight. It ended up being a one-sided show. It ended up being a lopsided result. It ended up being a seesaw type of effect where you had somebody on the other end that had more weight than the person that was on the opposite end. And that person on the opposite end really couldn't do shit until that person allowed them to level down to where their feet touched the ground. And in this particular case, if their ass touched the ground first or their hands touched the ground. I don't know how many times Harvey Doc had to wipe the glove of Errol Spence, but it was a plethora of times because he was getting off the canvas. So that's what the ref has to do. He has to wipe the gloves, make sure there's no debris, because that debris, and this is where the snotty boys would be happy. If a little bit of that debris, just say has some charred glass chips, you know what I'm saying, in the ring, and he turned around to get off the canvas, and one of those little charred pieces of glass was on his glove. He hit Crawford, and no one knew it was on the end of the glove. And Crawford stumbled back. They might have felt that was that happened from an actual punch. You know what I'm saying? They might have believed that happened from an actual punch, but yet in fact, it was from debris because the referee did not clean the gloves off and make sure it was good to go. They might have felt that arrow was coming on. It might have caused them to leap out of their chairs in rejoicing, all to be sat back down when those rounds began to play out different. Round 7, round 9, you know what I'm saying, where the fight was actually stopped, you know. But let's talk about, I heard some voices the other night, um, 2 female voices. And I have nothing against these sisters. I don't. But my only recommendation would be this. I think it'll be much more respectful and people taking it serious if there was a bit more preparation on this topic. I mean, it's been so much out there already on this topic. You definitely need to make sure you're fully prepared to come on here and talk about this topic. Being that the situation has played out and it wasn't in your fighter's favorite. Hold on for a second. Y'all hold on for a second. How's my audio? Let me know how my audio is. How's my audio? My audio good? Y'all let me know if my audio good. I would appreciate it. Let me know if my audio is good. Okay, cool. All right, cool. MMA store, what's good? Hope all is doing well. We're about to get to the cook. Carlos Rosado is in the building. What's good with it, Carlos? You might need a grease-proof mic. There he says. Too much cooking. I know, man. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to that. But appreciate that blunts. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you don't change something. You know what I'm saying? The setup is the same, and then it changes on its own. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hear the TV in the back. I think, oh, okay. Cool. That is. I didn't know it was that sensitive. Damn, I did not know it was that sensitive. But let's get back to the cook though. So truth be told, right, there was a situation going on with you know um two content creators who I don't have any smoke with. I don't have any problem with these ladies, but they've been on record as saying some out of pocket type things, which to me it's okay. I role play, I freaking storytell and all that. Sarcasm is a gateway to what I'm saying, laughter and enlightenment. But in this Crawford situation, it doesn't have anything to do with that. and we're talking about, these individuals, they really pay close attention to basically running a smear campaign. And what I mean by smear campaign is, derogatory information, aspersions, or whatever the case may be. And it don't matter what your gender is. I know it's a lot of guys on here that cater to females. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how, you got these guys out here catering to females, and they can't do anything wrong, but they doing the same thing the guys are doing. So if they on the panel keep getting that same energy and with criticism, these soft ass niggas will sit up here and say, "Oh, don't do that, don't talk that." And then you got the females that's busy up here trying to say, "Well, why y'all dudes doing this, that, and another? That's soft and all that." You're always trying to call dudes soft, but listen, I find it soft that y'all are not able to accept the reality, and the reality is certain aspects that's recorded. It's recorded now. It's never going away. This shit is recorded. It's something you have to deal with. It's recorded. There's nothing you can do about it. So when you speak about July 29th and you know what side you was on, and I heard so many people, to include the females too, that was on there talking about what Crawford couldn't do, what he won't do, what Spencer's gonna be able to do, what a TKO, it didn't mean nothing, and all this, bro. Come on, you gotta better prepare yourself before you jump out here in this jungle, man. You gotta better prepare yourself, because it's too much information that's floating on the surface, man. It's like an oil spill in here. If you choose to jump in there, don't think, oh man, I just messed up my hair. No, you're jumping in there with the full disclosure that you knew the shit was grimy and slimy to begin with, and you chose to swim in that shit. What I'm hearing from these people about Crawford now is the fact that they want to hold him accountable to his word. You know what I'm saying, y'all? They want to hold him accountable for the word. I'm gonna take this thumbnail down for a little bit, because I want to get into something, right? I want y'all to listen to some audio. All right. And this is the Queens of the Ring boxing. And they saying, oh, what they say. I'm about to let you know what they said, man. And this is light. Like I said, I have no problem. I'm just doing the reaction so to kind of speak, because they have been on record as saying some things that just didn't make sense to me. And I don't need a Dragamon to help me, decode this shit. It's easy. It's very, very easy. But let me get right down to it. And better yet, right? Better yet, let me put the thumbnail back up there, because I don't want them, because how people be reporting people's stuff all the time. But let me get to this first slice of audio from the Queens of the Ring, because I just didn't quite want to decipher this one-on-one with myself. You know what I'm saying? Me having a one-on-one. So I wanted to speak to you, the people, about what they was talking about, and see if you find it fair and within good standing. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to integrity and character and talking about this boxing shit. Pay attention.
Okay. Let's not air all this drama can stay under wraps until after the 30th. After the 30th, I think we're going to start hearing and seeing some shit, because the milk in the refrigerator is bad.
It's one thing that I keep hearing, that the milk in the refrigerator is bad. And when I hear that, it's almost like the comments that I'm hearing and the backlash that Crawford is receiving. When you're talking about milk in the refrigerator is bad, first of all, when you're talking about the refrigerator, is it a refrigerator that's in the garage or inside the home? Okay. Is it a refrigerator that's operable or non-operable? Is it operating outside, sitting in the backside of the house? You know what I'm saying? In the element, or is it a common used refrigerator inside the home? When I hear that term, the milk in the refrigerator is bad. Who kept milk in there that long? You know what I'm saying? And if you smell the milk and if you've seen the milk, why you didn't throw the shit out? You know what I'm saying? How can milk be in the refrigerator that long and become bad in this era? You know what I'm saying? People use it so much that it shouldn't even be in a position for you to see that it's curled and bad and all that. But if you're referring to a situation being the milk, I can see. But I just wanted to put that out there. Did the person pay their power bill? You know what I'm saying? Electricity bill. How is milk bad at this day and time? How's it bad? I just want to know when you use that. What milk are we talking about? Are we talking about milk that was purchased at a reduced price once you removed it from the store and it was had that little label on it, reduced, because you have to use it by this time? I don't know, because if indeed that's what you read, then I would say the mistake is from the buyer to purchase already milk that's reduced, knowing that it had to be consumed by a certain date. Let me keep it moving.
And why the fuck don't Bud want to fight at 154 now? It's very strange to me. Y'all got this win, and it was a very good, confident win. So why wouldn't you?
No, pause. Break. Timeout. It wasn't a very confident good win. It was a great win. Don't try to sit up here and you know what I'm saying, not give it full value. You know what I'm saying? Let's not try to lower the appraising value on what happened. It was a damn good win. Okay, Boxiana? It was a damn good win. Understand this. It wasn't a confident win. It was a damn good win. It was a great win. You know what I'm saying? You need to acknowledge as that. See, when you relieve your heart of certain things, then you will be able to breathe freely and you will feel a lot more relief going on. But see, that's not going to happen when y'all continue to look at what happened on July 29th as having little value to boxing. It had a lot of value to boxing, so much to the point where a lot of what I was hearing on these panels, to include y'all, that y'all just wasn't willing and able to give Bud his just due. Y'all just didn't want to give this man the credit leading up in there. Like he wasn't supposed to be in the same stage as freaking Spence. Spence just has so much going on. You know what I'm saying? The pressure, the jab, the pressure. You know what I'm saying? How's then Terrence Crawford going to handle this? How he's going to handle that? But when he showed you, come on now, Queens of the Ring, when he showed you all point blank period, right in front of the faces of millions, when he demonstrated to you all, it still wasn't enough. Because last time we was checked, it was only him and it was only his clone, the clone Errol Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to keep it in perspective so we can stay on topic. You know what I'm saying? Y'all say there was a clone in that motherfucker. Okay, we're going to use it as a clone. Terrence Crawford was fighting a clone EJ. But the ass whooping that he put on that clone, when you speak of that man's name right here, right now, it should be with greatness. Come on now, Queens of the Ring. You know better than that. You've been around 96, I think, let's see, 96 days or something. You've been in the game long enough to know, but I know y'all did a lot of hating on Bud. I know y'all did a lot of hating. And it just wasn't no clean, confident win. That motherfucker was great. You better know it.
Your guy want to go back in and fight him at 154 pounds like he said he was going to do? I don't know. The milk in the fridge is bad, friend. It got clumps in it now. I'm unsure of what's happening with the milk in the refrigerator, but it's not good. I think it got a little stink on it.
Okay, since the milk in the fridge has to be the topic of discussion, let's try to help understand about the milk. No, matter of fact, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it moving and try to bring this a little bit more clarity, because when you keep mentioning milk is not a daily substance of nutrition to help Crawford get into shape. I'm pretty sure the what liquid Crawford's consume is a liquid to provide him electrolytes. You know what I'm saying? Um, liquid that provide him hydration, healthy type substance, not milk, not milk. What you could compare the milk to was pretty much the way Errol Spence's face looked once Bud started to massage it with the tips of his glove. That, in a sense, can be kind of comparable to the way the clumps and lumps look in a container of milk. Truth be told, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, that's the closest I can get. But just take the texture of spoiled milk and take the color away and put a little red dye in there. And put that in your hand a little bit, rub it around, then you kind of get that same effect for which we seen when Crawford had touched this dude up. Like, Queens of the Ring, understand one thing. You know what I'm saying? It's 3 minutes. We talking about males, right? 3 minutes per round. That's when I say you got to put some respect on Crawford's name, because in the second round, that would be the second 3 minutes of a 12-round venture. And within the fourth minute of active rounds, Errol Spence's face was looking like somebody was preparing a strawberry cheesecake. You know what I'm saying? Crawford was putting the gloves on that boy. Come on, man. Come on. When y'all mention that, y'all have to understand he was putting some gloves on him. For real. Y'all can't sit up here and be all half stepping, taking half, and you got to take a full 30-inch step when you're marching in this game. You got to call it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Call it for what it is. Let's keep rocking and rolling, strolling.
I think it's very interesting, actually. I remember what he said after the fight. He was very open and honest about him having a hard time making 147 as well. And he said he had no problem giving him the real.
Correcto. Correct. Both fighters has mentioned that they struggle with the fight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we get into some part of validation. You know what I'm saying? He said he had a hard time making the weight too. Yes, sir. I like to hear people tell the other side of the story. Even if it provides credibility for the fighter that is so-called on the wrong end of the narratives. In this case, she was talking correctly. She was providing validation, you know what I'm saying, for Terrence Bud Crawford. He did have issues making that weight. He said it. He was on record. You know what I'm saying? He was on record. True words.
Rematch at 154. Now, that was after the fight. You can only take a man at his word.
Yes, especially this man, because he's earned it. Through all the shit y'all was talking about this man, he went in there and absolutely proved all y'all wrong. You know what I'm saying? The both of you, the pair, P-air. You know what I'm saying? If we're spelling it, both of you, the tandem. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all done talk mad greasy about Crawford. And now you want to tiptoe back in and act like this man can't talk his shit. You want to act like he's not the shot caller? He absolutely is the shot caller. And that's why I had to come over here and do a reaction to the Queens of the Ring, because no, I have to remove that. Whatever tiara or crown that y'all might have thought y'all had, I have to remove that and give some bit more clarification as to certain important topics that you left out, certain points that you left out. You know what I'm saying? Put some respect on Crawford's name. You understand me?
Okay, that's what he said. So if he's switching it up now, he has every right to do so.
Talk to him. I think her name is called Nick J. I'm not sure. But shout out to Nick J. She say he has every right to do that. That's what I'm talking about. It doesn't see when you relieve yourself of all stress, goddamn it. It ain't nothing like it. Your body moves freely and it's light. You light on your feet. You know what I'm saying? You move side to side, shit. Certain joints that was causing you pain, you like, shit, I feel pretty decent now. God damn, my arthritis ain't acting up. Oh man, I'm feeling good. He has every right, that Boxiana. Listen to Nick J. He has every right to change his mind. You better know it.
But I can't say I'm surprised. You know,
So you stay on your word. You can't say, because I'm sure y'all said this is what we said. We have all been saying we getting to get back at 154. Has that not been a thing, friend?
there has been a thing,
Okay.
but
See, this is where it gets a little fuzzy. They're queens of the ring. Because if you're going to take Crawford at his word, then you definitely have to take Spence at his too. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, who was around him long enough to the point where they couldn't assess how long he was at the welterweight division? Who was making the declaration that they want to be welterweight champion? Was it y'all? Was it y'all? Or was it some other members of the YTC? Or was it Spence himself? Spence said he wanted to become the welterweight undisputed. So he did. He did go on that mission, so to speak. He took the easy route, and he felt that would be okay, right? It ruined him because the stress that he must experience from taking that easy route stressed him the fuck out. So by the time he did get to knocking off the weight, and that's where y'all come in at. Out of all these panels, I'm just wondering why nobody couldn't get that man the word and say, hey, how you doing over there? I didn't see y'all screenshot any tweets. I didn't see any tweets really taking place over there on Twitter. I would have rather y'all gave this man some word of encouragement to say, hey, you might want to start getting in the gym and dropping that weight, because we seen you at Frank Martin fight the previous year. You looked a little heavy in December. So being that the rumor mill is out that this fight might happen this year, we just want to make sure you start getting on the road. You know what I'm saying? We see your coach up there, you know what I'm saying, doing knee-high freaking steps and goddamn calisthenics and motherfucking yoga and going for runs. You need to get that weight off. Y'all couldn't get together and make that shit happen. Y'all couldn't come together as a unit and tell that man to take that weight off, since he's been at 147 pounds for a while. It wasn't a problem when he went in there and fought Ugas just 1 year previously. It wasn't a problem with his weight. But all of a sudden, it's a problem with him stepping in here to face the man himself, Terrence Crawford. So he went in there and gave you all everything that you didn't want him to do. He went against the grain. He won the fight. He won it in dominating fashion. So what are we talking about when it comes to what he said? He don't owe y'all no answers. He don't owe nobody no answers. None. So we all of a sudden want him to stick by his word. No, you all need to stick to your word. You need to grab another knife and fork and continue to eat that crow. Don't heat it up either, goddammit. Keep that crow right in front of you and eat it outside, because I want the flies and everything else to come by and do what they do. Eat that crow in the sunlight, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I want. You love talking about spoiled milk. We want to talk about eating crow outside with the flies, the gnats, and everything else, the larvae. You know, just keep it out there. Go in the house, let it sit, and come back out. You know what I'm saying? And then grab a nice cold glass of that spoiled milk to chase that crow down, because you're gonna need something to get that aftertaste out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all just don't accept the results. You have to accept the results.
He can do what he wants to do because he won the first fight. He's the winner. He's the winner. But I remember the winner saying, I remember all the kind words that he spoke after the fight. I remember him saying he had a hard time making 47, and, you know, he don't have no problem having a rematch at 54. I remember him saying that. Now, if he changed his mind, he reserves the right to do so. I'm just saying, I'm surprised, because I was shocked when he was being the gracious winner.
Oh, all of a sudden he's gracious, huh? Let me explain something to you, Nick J. As much as I heard that the hate that was going on, and we're talking about gracious, you know what I'm saying? All the defamation of character that this man had to experience leading up to that fight, and we're talking about gracious. We're talking about gracious now. We're talking about gracious. Are we talking about the fight that actually happened in the ring July 29th? Are we talking about how gracious the panels was that was up here talking about Crawford don't have no way of winning? He's too light. He's too small. He won't be able to get past the jab. Them TKOs he don't have. I remember hearing a certain individual out of the pair on the panel just talking, just talking, and just talking. That's all I was hearing. And I'll say, man, this is going to be a very memorable moment for the Queens of the Ring, because the trash that was being talked about Bud Crawford, y'all was for sure this was going to be one of those moments in history. That's why y'all playing the bird. Y'all playing the bird to spread your wings and fly out there to Vegas so you can witness this massacre firsthand. That is the hilarious part about it. They always say that the residual effects live. It's a lasting memory longer than the moment itself. The residual effects that you have, you know what I'm saying? The PTSD that you experience from showing up to Vegas. I get it. That shit is still resonates to this day, man. To the point where y'all are attempting to hold this man at his every word. When Crawford was saying what he was going to do to Spence, y'all didn't believe him. Y'all didn't believe nothing the man had to say. He couldn't do anything right. I remember one half, you know what I'm saying? Basically saying that TKOs didn't matter. Who has he fought? He don't have no power. How is he going to handle the pressure? There's no way that he's going to be able to handle the pressure of Errol Spence Jr. I remember your words. I remember listening. But let me get back to it. I don't want to overextend my rebuttal.
That shocked me. This doesn't. This feels more like the authentic Terrence Crawford. To go back on your word.
You know, when I hear people try to place a stamp on human beings that they're not close to. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit oily. We're talking about if you reach your finger down in the spoiled milk and the index finger and the second finger, and you just rub that shit together. It's all oily and mushy. You know what I'm saying? And plus it smells bad. And now it's beginning to smell bad. You know what I'm saying? Because now we have to get into why you feel the way you do about a person that you haven't met. And last time I checked, I was finger walking, you know, like the yellow pages. I was finger walking through your catalog, and I wasn't able to retrieve an interview between the Queens of the Ring and Terrence Crawford. I just wasn't able to do that. So it was puzzling to me that, okay, I could see if you actually had some one-on-one time to be able to talk to this man and get a better feel of who he was. Because I've talked to fighters who, one of my favorite fighters, you know, when I actually, showed up to the fights. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that you can see and hear when you actually on deck. And at the present time, I have to acknowledge that you all did show up to Vegas on July. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you did. That's why this is what we're going through right now. You know what I'm saying? We're going through the rehabilitation phase because now you are trying to hold Terrence Crawford to a certain standard. How do you know this man doesn't have character? How can you question this man's character just because he is the shot caller? It wasn't enough for him to step in there and beat Spence the way he did. It wasn't enough for him to put his gloves to work. It wasn't enough. I know what it is. The language that his hands was talking. You didn't like the tone. I know. I hear that all the time. You know, certain women say, "Excuse me, I don't like your tone. I feel like you're trying to intimidate." Did you not feel well that his gloves was intimidating? Freaking Errol Spence's facial structure. You know what I'm saying? Was it his gloves that you didn't like? It is boxing at the beginning and the end of the day. It's boxing. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford's character is in question, huh? Imagine that. His character is in question. It don't surprise you. How in the heck it doesn't surprise you? Have you ever seen that man around with his people on fight week on more than 5 occasions? Have you even had a conversation with him? Have you heard him in a conversation? Have you been able to get close enough to the point where he may have included either one of you in the conversation? I would think the answer would be an astounding November Oscar.
Okay, but I'm not shocked. He's never had this kind of A-side flexing power ever. Never. So I it is what it is. It's just funny that he won't fight Errol at 54, but he'll jump up to 68 to fight Canelo.
No, it ain't funny at all. It's business. Yes, it's business. And see, when Crawford does business, and I'm not speaking for him, I'm speaking about him, okay? When you are all about the business, Crawford is doing nothing more than any other fighter have done up to this point in the business of boxing. They can continue to climb the ladder, put the wins away, and continue to work themselves in a position so that they can call the shots. Isn't that what people work for in life? To get themselves in a position, a higher position on the pecking order, so they can not only get paid more, but they can make the decisions. They can delegate authority, right? Isn't that what we do? Okay, then. So when it comes down to you talking about what he said at 154, and you saying that Terrence Crawford never been in a position, well, maybe he has been in a position that wasn't so center stage, so to speak, because it's on record that Terrence Crawford's negotiation, him getting all that guarantee money, yes, he's been making decisions for quite some time. He's been making decisions. He's been making money for quite some time. Just like when he stood up and did a left face and marched away from the negotiation that wasn't beneficial to him and went over there and fought David Avenesian in his backyard with BOK Prime. He received a check for that. That is called making business decisions. And it was beneficial because in the meanwhile, your man's Errol Spencer said that he was going to be on the ring. He's going to be in the ring with or without Crawford. Isn't that what he said, people? Isn't that what Errol Spencer said? There are levels to this YTC game. Isn't that what Errol Spence said, that he was going to jump in the ring regardless, with or without Crawford? And then when Crawford walked away, previously to November, we'd never seen Errol Spence get into the ring. In fact, Errol Spence was at Disney World with his hands in the air and waving them like he just didn't care about training camp. Real talk, that Queens of the Ring. Seriously, he wasn't even in camp because Crawford called him out on that. He called him out on that. He said, y'all was up here playing around with my time. You know what I'm saying? Here I am training and all that, and you're not even in camp. You're over there at Disneyland. And I don't blame him for spending time with his kids or whatever he was spending time with. But don't make it seem like you was in shape and you know, and all that. No, that proved, July 20, that proved that you are a procrastinator when it comes to fight camp at this point in your life. You jump in there late and you got to torture yourself to get down. That's not Terrence Crawford's fault. That's not Terrence Crawford's fault at all. Just to be clear, that's not his fault. That's not his fault at all. So you're trying to insinuate he's in a position to flex. You better damn well understand why. He earned that shit. He earned it. Whether you like it or not, he earned that position. He don't have to ask for nobody's permission on what choices he's making. What did the contract say? You know what I'm saying? Leading up to this fight, they always talk about the contract. And y'all was mad about the coin flip. Who allowed the coin flip to happen? Errol. Who said negotiations were grueling? Errol, right? Who said they called up Errol at the beginning of this year? Crawford. Who was on record as saying that he gave this man the $1 million bet that they had and then some? Who was up here making concessions for the B-side fighter? Y'all better open your eyes and recognize. Stop playing. Put some respect on that man.
Now that makes no sense. If somebody can explain that to me.
I just did.
I don't know. Stravinsky Motley, how are you? He says, so now the chat believes liars such as Bud and Shakur, but won't believe motherfuckers who are consistent like EJ and Frank. A lot of y'all in the chat weird and was raised weird as fuck. Salute, Queens. Bud's nervous. Yeah, Stravinsky. You could tell a lot by folks, thought process.
Yeah, I agree. You can tell a lot about folks' thought process. Just the mere fact of you reading that super chat so freely and agreeing with them. Obviously, we can't go up here and knock on the doors of those individuals in your chat. Me and some of the hottest chat in the game, and come over there and administer drug test to see if they are competent to even leave a super chat, and also to make sure it's under an account that's actually being deducted from theirs and not someone else's, because that right there, talking about like EJ and Frank, what is that? We just seen Frank walk away. I mean, look, this is a comment that was left there, Queens of the Ring, after Frank Martin departed. After agreeing with Shakur Stevenson, he departed. So you agree with the person in the chat that like EJ and Frank, what are they doing? What did EJ do that was so noteworthy? What did he do? He was the second opponent in this negotiation process. He was the one with the 3 belts. He had to come see Crawford. What did EJ do that was so profound and so notable, and that y'all wanted to compliment? What did he do? What was that person in the chat talking about? Goddamn, that shit is a hell of a drug, boy, for real.
You could tell a lot about how folks were raised and their thought process with small microcosm situations like this. They thinking, it tells you a lot. I just say that.
Okay, when you say that, once again, here are individuals who are from the far distance. You know what I'm saying? The far distance. I don't even think they are looking through the scope or optics or anything to zoom in for a closer look. I just think their primary focal point is the YTC and listening to the trash bag narratives that's out here. You know what I'm saying? The septic tank of boxing media is right here at the YTC, right? So you're talking about how somebody's raised. I need clarity on what you're talking about, how somebody's raised, because we should be saluting them, because this man is a two-time undisputed world champion. He goes down in history as being the first time a male boxer has ever did that. You know what I'm saying? That's special right there. Heavy, Queens, heavy is the head who wears the crown. And we're not talking about just a title. Yes, that's how it all goes down.
Okay, I just say that. Know that everybody ain't on the same thing, which is cool, but you have to know who you're dealing with. And like I said, after the fight, yeah, stop that. After I said after the fight, Errol's ego probably got the best of him in staying at 47 this long. If that's the game that Budrick wants to play,
I like that. I like the Budrick. That's why I consider the snotty boys to be a fitting term. It used to be aerosexuals to me, but therefore the snotty boys is more fitting. You know why? Because it basically, in a nutshell, 2 or 3, summarize all the crying, the whining, the bickering, just the constant moaning, unable to accept the results. You know what I'm saying? Not able to sit down as an adult and accept the results, because you all was talking shit about Budrick prior to the ass whooping that he administered to Errol Spence. And now that the ass whooping has been beat, you all felt every punch that Budrick landed on EJ's facial structure, soften it up and making that strawberry juice perspire through the pores, which I have a picture that you can see all that. And then the PTSD is becoming real life residual neurological effect. I mean, it's a lot that's going on. It's a lot that we have to deal with. And when I hear this, the name calling, you know what I'm saying, and the alias that is used for Budrick, I'm like, why? Why Budrick? Why can't you just call him by his name? You know what I'm saying? Because y'all saying that Budrick was fighting a clone. You know what I'm saying? Why didn't y'all recognize that on the ring walk and get security and say, security? That's not the Errol Spence we used to seeing. Something's wrong. Y'all was in the building. You know what I'm saying? One of y'all were. Y'all was in the building. Y'all was in the building. Y'all couldn't stop security and say, hey, hold up. Some ain't looking right. Is that AI? Is that AI? Somebody please let me know. Is that AI right there? Because we want this to be a fair fight. You know what I'm saying? And then they turn to each other. No, if it's AI, that means it's going to give the clone an advantage because humans are not stronger than robots, right? Oh, okay. Shh. Shh. Let it go then. Yeah. That's a clone. Oh man, them clones are coming out. They very fast, strong, all that shit. But when the ass whooping commenced, that is where you all had to reach somewhere on your persons and grab some fresh tissue to wipe the tears away. You all are experiencing residual neurological destructive fragmentation. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on with the Queens of the Ring. That's why y'all can't give this man his credit because y'all was talking so much shit about Budrick. Even the Elliot, look, the name and the Elliot himself couldn't stop him from administering that ass whooping that he put on Spence. And no, not one way, no how. That's just the facts, ladies.
Let him go play it and see who he fights next. And see what kind of purse he ends up with next.
Okay, so I see you Budrick fans in the comments. Okay, I'm pretty sure the thing was the get back at 154, right? So, like, why is it now all of a sudden he can only fight him at 147?
Let me answer that. You know what I'm saying, from a distance. Let me answer somebody who actually, can answer that without any type of intrepidation or I can answer that with a free mind and spirit. You know what I'm saying? Why are you all concerned about the wrong thing? Are you all not forgetting what the contract said? The contract allowed for the option to be in the court or in ownership, you know what I'm saying, of the winner. See, this all went downhill from the coin flip. The coin flip was inserted to the contract to see who walks out first or second and who's introduced first or second. Well, we already know that Bud Crawford, for pound number one, he won a coin flip and he walked out second. Or did he walk out first? Which one was it? Because all the people talk about is about M. Hold on for a second, y'all. Y'all didn't hear me when I said hold on? I said hold on. My audio wasn't out because Mike Stafford's funeral is going on right now. So people are hitting me up. And they was pretty much talking to me about the situation. But I'll definitely talk about that a little later after I finish with this hot grease. Let's go through some things right quick. Let's continue. I'm gonna continue with the audio. All right. Blunt said every interviewer asked Errol what took so long to make this fight happen leading up to the fight. They wasn't asking Bud that. Shout out to Jessica on deck. What's good? Let's get back to the cook. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to leave it in the hot grease too long. It might burn. I'm not trying to burn anything. I'm trying to make sure it's good to go. Let's get back to the audio. You know what I'm saying? This is the Queens of the Ring reaction. Because pretty much, like I said before, I'm just reacting to their own voices and how they feel about the situation. They have said some things that just didn't add up and make sense to me about the current reigning defending undisputed world champion. And he is indeed out there at Michael Stafford's funeral too. Bud is on deck in case you all are in the area or whatever. He's on deck out there to pay his respects to the legend himself, Michael Stafford, along with a surplus of a lot of other people. Let's get back to the hot grease though.
It's kind of strange to me. You only want to fight somebody that you could beat him at that weight. You want to go up and fight Canelo at 168 pounds.
So this is Boxiana. Boxiana, salute to you, Boxiana. You know what I'm saying? I know you taking a shot or two at me previously, but this has nothing to do with that. All I'm doing is talking about boxing right now. So you feel like Terrence Crawford want to face Errol Spence at a weight that he beat, a weight that is within the 17 divisions that is on record in the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? This division happened to be Crawford's third division, while when it comes down to Errol Spence, this is his only division where he's picked up titles, right? I'm pretty sure you know that already. So therefore, once again, speaking about paperwork, documentation, they always say, Boxiana, documentation beats conversation, right? So let's just talk about the documentation before the conversation. The fact that Errol Spence was there to agree to everything that was in the contract. Coin flip. And we seen who walked out second, who was introduced first. We seen all that. We seen how the fight played out, and it was closed down in round 9. And we seen them embracing one another as black men in the ring and post-fight presser. We seen the respect that was given from Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? There was a whole lot of tweets that was out. That leads me to this, that why is there so much excuses being given when the fighter Errol Spence, Boxiana, Errol Spence is not giving all these excuses. Errol Spence isn't giving these excuses. It was up to the winner to pick what weight class. The winner, W-I-N-E-R, winner. And the winner was who y'all call Budrick. He won the fight. So therefore, what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? What's the big deal? He's not making excuses about anything. Why aren't y'all following suit? Why aren't y'all following suit? You know what I'm saying? If he's not making excuses, why is the snotty boys making excuses? The snotty boys who call themselves representing Errol Spence is not doing a great job, because you know what happened when there's too much mucus on the floor, right? And you step in it, you slip and fall, and you cause more damage to the residual PTSD that's actually going on from the fight itself that happened July 29th. You know what I'm saying? That's more CTE damage. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. But what I want to know is, why do you feel like Bud earned the right, but yet you want to take away the right that he has from winning? It was contractually agreed upon. This man was supposed to go in there and fight the best of his knowledge. It's almost like y'all wanted him to basically go in there half-ass, only put out a little, just minimal effort, allow Errol Spence to stun on him, win the fight, so y'all can come over here and speak in a different tone with a different type of energy and spirit about yourself. No, he got his ass beat. He got his ass beat. Point blank, period. He got his ass beat. And y'all are unwilling to accept the results. Yes. Do you want me to pull up the box rec? Do y'all want me to pull up the box rec? Let me continue to let them speak.
Go up to 154 and see how you do up there. Because it's funny as fuck now. This fight can only happen at 147. And we said 154 because that's where the rematch. Sure.
I'm glad you said, Boxiana, we. Okay, so we. It's a little bit funny to me that we means a more than one person. So you are claiming Errol. You are claiming. Okay, since you are claiming, right? So let me get this straight. Since Crawford, once again, I reiterate, since Crawford, once again, I repeat, since Crawford, I want to be redundant. Since Crawford was able to win the fight, you feel that what the contractual agreements was, he's not able to execute them. You're trying to tell me he isn't able to execute them? He doesn't have the right, being that he went through pre-fight camp, fight camp, and he went in there and did what he's supposed to do. It's not enough. You know what I'm saying? This man has every right to fight at 47 or 54. It's not up to him to listen to any one of you all and think that he should change up what he earned. He earned that. You know what I'm saying? He earned it. He earned it. Not the snotty boys. Not the snotty boys. You know what I'm saying? But he earned it. He earned the right per the agreement that Errol Spence agreed to. He signed on for this. He signed on for a coin flip. He signed on for the knowingly that the winner is able to choose what weight class. And he found out that Crawford wasn't as small and weak as he thought he was, just like y'all thought that, you know, how could Budrick coordinate and handle all this damn pressure that Errol Spence was going to get? Well, guess what? What was Errol Spence's words after the fight? Yeah, he's stronger than I thought. Good shit. He got it done. He's stronger than I thought. Okay.
I'll give him a rematch at 154. That's not a problem. Now it's an issue. I'm very much confused. Now,
let me help you out. Let me help you out, the Boxiana, if you're confused. So you're thinking that Crawford is not taking the fight at 154 because y'all believe he might be frightened, fearful? Is that it? You believe the man might have a little bit of hesitation within his reservoir of courage, intestinal fortitude? You believe it has to do with, look, I want to get this straight. I'm assuming. I'm not saying that's what you're thinking, but more so you believe in that a guy who went in there and slaughtered Errol Spence Jr. You think he would be afraid to move up to 154 pounds? Like it's going to be a drastic reversal in what we witnessed that played out in July? Is that it? That cannot be the case, bro. That cannot be the case at all. It's no way that that's going to be the case, man. This man has the option to fight at 54, whether you like or not. But one thing you're missing, Once again, that capital B word, business. You know what I'm saying? The business allows Terrence Crawford to renegotiate. We're not talking about him being scared to face Errol Spence at 54. Crawford is on record as going back into these negotiations because right now he's seasoned. He attempted to go over there last year in 2022. It didn't work out. He learned some things. He even mentioned that it was good that he didn't use the hedge fund because they would have had to pay money. See, he was learning, even though y'all was criticizing that man. Y'all continue to criticize him, even when he was in top rank, when he wasn't at top rank, when he ventured over there to PBC. Y'all said, finally, he's at the doorstep of a black man that can step on his back. And then once the black man finished stepping on his back, he should thank the black man for stepping on his back. You know what I'm saying? He should bow down and take whatever they want to give him. Yeah, that's what I was hearing out here in the YTC. And then he learned, he educated himself with his team doing those negotiation process. And then he found out it wasn't in his best interest that they wanted to fight in 2023 and he wanted to fight in 22. So he wouldn't be an inactive fighter. Smart. Oh my God, smart. So now that he goes in here in 2023 and gets the win, now he has the power to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? He has the power. He has the juice. You know he has the juice. And that's what's messing you all up. That's what's agitating you all. He has all the power. You all are not saying that. You need to get it in your vocabulary that Budrick, whoever you want to call him, Terrence Crawford, Budrick, Crawfish, whatever, he is in a position to make the decisions. It's point blank, left to right, front to back, just like that.
Take the rematch if you don't want. You ain't got to give him a rematch. Go ahead and go up and fight Canelo. That's fine. But
this is the other thing. Canelo not finna fight you. Canelo is not finna fight him. Canelo already said he don't want to fight him. When he fight him and win, what they gonna say? What they gonna say? He was too small.
See, that's somewhat antiquated information. Canelo is on record as saying something a bit different from that. Yeah, he put that out there just so people can, kind of show it a little bit of attention. But this is a guy, okay, which you all, both of you need to mention, that Canelo had basically predicted Crawford to win between him and Errol Spence. Okay, let's get that straight. So don't try to make it seem like Canelo is not going to fight Bud because it's no freaking leverage. It's no freaking Wall Street or no appraising value in it. Yes, it is. It's stock into that fight with Bud because of momentum. And then the same thing, if he's able to fight Mel Charlo, moving up two weight divisions, who's to say that two fighters who struggle to make 147 is not really 154 pounds as we speak? So truth be told, if I got to break down and be petty about the numbers, really Canelo would be fighting a second fighter that's coming up two weight divisions. You know what I'm saying? 54 to 68. Because both of the fighters said that they struggled to make weight. So let's just say they're super welterweights right now. That's where they're walking around at. And we already know Spence has been on record as saying he walks around 165, 168. So he's a super middleweight, period. So wouldn't it be the same they're Queens of the Ring? If Errol Spence moved up from 47 to 68, if provided the opportunity, let's just say Bud wasn't in the equation. Let's just say he was fighting another fight at welterweight and he won that WBO title and he wanted to move up and fight Canelo. Hasn't Errol Spence been on record as saying he wanted to fight Canelo and Canelo been at 168? I haven't heard a peep of you all voicing criticism on Errol Spence moving up to 168 pounds. Oh, I know what it is, because his walk around weight is higher than Crawford supposedly. But when I watched it on July 29th, it seemed like Terrence Crawford was the bigger fighter in the ring. It seems like that snack protein was doing him justice. God dang, dude looked like he was the Hulk in there, per the naysayers that say he was all juicing and all that. Oh, my fault. I don't want to mention juice. already, because that's what Boxiana is going to lead to. That's one of the threats that Boxiana is going to tag along to. She feels like that is her that's the recourse she chooses to take. That's the course of action, rather, that she chooses to take if she don't get what she wants. I get it. That's why, hey, that's why the snotty boys, them aerosexuals, boy, you got to listen attentively in what they say, because they be sitting up here, on board with some malicious type shit, and they don't think nothing of it. Nothing. Truth be told, Canelo would absolutely, if it lined itself up and the money was good, because Canelo gonna get paid, Crawford gonna get one of his highest paydays. And let's never forget, in the process of prior to July 29th, Errol Spence has been on record several times as wanting to fight Canelo, and I didn't hear nobody screaming about him coming up 3 weight classes. I didn't hear nothing. Y'all wasn't talking about any of that. Period. None of it. Y'all was like, oh man, that'd be a great fight. He deserves it. Yeah, he deserves. He's done so much. He did all the heavy. Man, get out of here with that.
Canelo's not gonna fight him.
No, Canelo will fight him. Canelo versus Terence Crawford, Canelo versus Errol Spence Jr. Either one of them gonna make a shitload of money with Canelo. That's a fight one of people want to see, just like they going to see Mel and Canelo. Go ahead.
A lot of folks are getting ahead of themselves because we don't know what the outcome of this Canelo Charlo fight is going to be. But even if, let's just pretend, even if Canelo beats Charlo, he's already lined up to fight the other Charlo. And then after that, he's going to have to see somebody that really fights at 168 pounds. I'd be goddamn if he moves up Terence Crawford from 147 pounds. He'll have to drop them belts or do something. Is all.
Is that right? So Canelo will have to drop the belts. So Canelo will have to drop the belts. So you don't understand what improvising means? Improvisions in the sport of boxing. Are you not witnessing what's going on with Mar Charlo? Did you not see my interview? I actually mentioned how Mauricio Suleiman is accommodating Mar Charlo for going through what he's going through, and they haven't stripped him of the WBC title. So therefore, I know that doesn't bleed over into all the other sanctioning bodies, but boxing has been on record, along with the sanctioning bodies, for basically cutting corners and making accommodations to certain fighters. You know what I'm saying? Making accommodations, breaking the rules, so to speak. So all this mandatory stuff, yeah, sometimes it works for people and sometimes it don't. You know what I'm saying? Look how long Mel Charlo was out. Look how long Mar Charlo was out. You know what I'm saying? Look how many mandatory defenses that Errol Spence had. People want to talk about, oh, he was doing his mandatory. From Carlos Ocampo, look how long it took him until he actually stepped in there with Danny Garcia. I mean, was people stripping him of his titles? You know what I'm saying? Look how long Manny Pacquiao was in recess. And for what reason? He didn't meet the policies and guidelines to be on recess. They just put the man on recess. Look how long Keith Thurman was out the ring until they finally relieved him of one of his titles. Come on there, Queens. Come on, of the ring.
All I'm saying, it might happen.
Ding, ding.
But it's not going to happen at 168 pounds for all them belts. Not when all them people been up there waiting on them belts from Canelo.
I just want to know why the rematch can be at 154. Now, all of a sudden, y'all going to have to explain to me, Bud fans. And y'all going to have to make me understand why.
He's the man.
I don't know. That A-side, I don't want to hear that. Because
Boxiana don't want to hear the A-side shit. So what you want to hear, though? Real talk, what you want to hear? If you don't want to hear the A-side, then what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Because before time, you got to stick to what you on record is saying. Y'all was up here speaking about Errol Spence doing all the heavy lifting, and he should get all these dang concessions and amenities, and he should have this going in his favor. He was the A side, no doubt about it. Regardless of what Crawford did in his career, he didn't do anything. We shouldn't take any dang consideration of that because he didn't fight nobody. He ain't did nothing. He ain't fought nobody welterweight. Errol Spence is the A side, A side, A side. That's all we heard. You know what I'm saying? That's all we heard. Errol Spence is the A side. So Terrence goes in there as the B side, right? Really, no one knows, because what I loved about this negotiation that happened in 2023 is the fact that it was very limited information that was leaked out to the public, unlike all the unemployed life coaches and managers that was frolicking around in 2022, acting like they knew every line for line what was going on with negotiations. And you know what? They still couldn't stop him from going for David Avanesian and knocking him out in 6 rounds. I'm just saying. And so after that happened, they thought they was going to come over in 2023. And they were still talking that A side shit. A side, A side, A side. That's all they was talking. A side, A side, A side. And now all of a sudden, Boxiano, you don't care about the A side? You don't care about the A side? Why not? He earned it. He earned his position to be the shot caller. Now it becomes a fact of, y'all just disrespecting the man. Now it's almost like you consider to be parentheses haters because you don't want to acknowledge what the man has earned up to this point. So what are you covering the sport of boxing for? If you're not willing to show any type of leniency and be genuine about the results, and in this case, Crawford won the fight, so therefore he's able to make the decisions per the contract. But when he starts to make the decisions per the contract, you don't like it. How is that possible? How all of a sudden you don't care nothing about the A side because it's not Errol Spence? If it was Errol Spence, you all would be up here with a big smile on your face, being braggadocious. You know what I'm saying? Vocal. I mean, the volume will be up so loud, you'll be letting everybody that's even close, you know what I'm saying, within a radius to listen in and shit. You'll be letting them know how happy you are that Errol Spence went in there and beat Crawford. Y'all will be talking, yeah, this we get. You know what I'm saying? Crawford, he don't have no negotiation power now. It's all Errol Spence, because we told you he was a unified champion. He did everything he was supposed to do, and therefore he make the decisions. He's making the calls. That's exactly what y'all would have been saying. But being that the results did not work out in your favor, now all of a sudden you don't care about the A side. How is that the case? How does that work again? How all of a sudden you don't care about the A side when it's Budrick, but you would have sure enough gave a damn if it was Errol?
Because all y'all got is y'all word at this point, and your word was sure we can do the rematch at 154. Just tell these people you don't want to fight Errol again. I'd rather you say that, and I respect that shit more than.
No, you can't respect that. Because this is where the CTE damage is bleeding over into the snotty boys, his fans. How can you say the man don't want to fight Errol knowing he's going to get a paycheck? Early in the live stream, Nick J mentioned that was going to be a paycheck. He's going to get a nice paycheck if he fight Errol again. Why wouldn't he fight him? How can you say the performance that he put on with Errol Spence, how can you feel that he even remotely scared or fearful to step in there? How can you say out your mouth as queens of the ring that this is boxing shit? This is educational boxing shit you're talking. How can you say within yourself and feel that you're being genuine instead of being disingenuous that this man don't want to fight Errol again? Come on. What damage? Listen, Boxiana. What damage did you see this man take on July 29th to dissuade him from stepping into the ropes again? Come on. It makes no sense. That was his easiest fight damn near. Other than Amir Khan, that was his easiest fight. That was his easiest fight at welterweight. That was his easiest fight, bro. How would he be fearful of fighting this man at 154 because it's several pounds higher. It's the next weight class. Come on now. How? You can't make sense of that shit. There's no way you can make sense of that. It's no way in hell. When somebody go over here and bludgeoned a fighter the way that Crawford did Spence, how can you come out your mouth knowing that there's some milk in the fridge that don't smell well, and yet you're trying to blend in your narrative with the spoiled milk like it's going to clean it up and make it smell like it's summer, spring, fall, winter breeze, Georgia peach mist. It's not going to clean shit up. Funk on funk is going to lead to stank. That's going to happen. It's not going to clean it up. It's not going to smell like Febreze just because you putting your touch on something. If you used to the spoiled milk and then you sand some shit that stank too, both of them together is really going to funk the place up. You should know that. This man got the juice. This man earned his spot. He can do what the hell he want to do. He don't have to fight this man at 154. That's why it's called options. 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 You know what I'm saying?
And I was saying I'm only gonna fight at him at 147 pounds because to me it looked like you can't do it at 154. Show me. You had to show me at 147. That's not changing. He gonna have to show me at 154 too.
No. To be honest with you, Boxiana, he don't have to show you shit. He don't have to show you a motherfucking thing. The only thing that you can be shown is when you hit the replay on YouTube and look at that fight over again. I don't know. I mean, the snotty boys may not look at video or look at fight film. Y'all might just have had a moment in Vegas where you say, I'll never watch this fight again in my life. I'll never do it. It was just too much. It weighs too heavy on my mind. I can't really walk around in society and function as a normal human being. This is just too much. The headaches that it gives me, the stress, my blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much. That's not making sense to me. You know what I'm saying that you're talking about? It's just too much that don't make sense, bro. He don't have to prove nothing to you. How does he have to prove? What if I put this in there? What if it wasn't a rematch clause? You're going to sit up here and deny that he beat Errol Spence ass in July? Is that what you're going to do? What if it wasn't a rematch clause? What if it wasn't? What if it was just a one for all, winner take all, and move on to the next? What if it wasn't a rematch? Just because it's a rematch clause, y'all feel that you need to speak it into existence and act like, oh, I'm forcing him to fight at 154. He need to show me. He don't need to show you shit, because he already showed all y'all is levels to this game and how much of a better fighter that he is from Errol Spence. He beat his ass. What more do you want? What more do you want to happen? He beat that man ass, bro.
Because I would be real funny when they get up to Canelo at 168, which is crazy. And you've been fighting at 147 pounds for the last 3 years.
Well, my question to Bud fans also is, your man's told y'all he had a hard time making 147 pounds. So I'm reading in the comments talking about Bud not dropping them belts. Well, if he fight at 155, yes, he is. He is. Yeah, he is.
Oh my God. So let me see. Let me read that. Queens. Okay. Queens. Let me address this that way. Okay, let me provide you with a scenario, because this is what I do. And like I said before in my intro, this is not, I don't want any smoke with you all. Believe me, I come in peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going this route. I'm just doing a reaction to something that concerned me. But you said if he fights at 54 for the Spence fight, he's dropping the belts, right? After Terrence said he wasn't dropping the belts. So let me ask you this. When Dimitri Bivol beat Canelo Alvarez, since he's the topic of discussion, when he moved up to 175 outside of the 168-pound division, where he was the current reigning defending super middleweight undisputed world champion. Did he drop his belts when he went up there and faced Dimitri Bivol? Because the last time I checked, when he lost, he came back down to 168 pounds. And he was still the current reigning, defending super middleweight undisputed world champion. Am I right or wrong there, Queens? Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Am I right? Am I right or wrong? Did Canelo move up to 175, lose to Bivol, and come back down, and he was still the reigning defending? Okay, let's keep it going.
Milk in the fridge is bad. Because Errol stood on his word. He said he was going to clean up his side, and then he was going to fight, but he did that. He lost, but he did what he said.
Man, come on, bro. Boxiana, you can't still be talking about what Errol said, but yet everything that Bud said, y'all ignored leading up to that fight, and that's why y'all hurt now. See, y'all can't give Bud his props for all the things he was saying that what he was gonna do. He said on God, Spence wasn't. Look. I mean, Spence said on God, Bud wasn't stopping him. But Bud, he thought otherwise. He was like, yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Don't let me take my belt off. The things he was saying all the way up, y'all was basically ignoring, throwing it, you know what I'm saying, trashing it. You didn't say anything, but now you want to talk about cleaning up his side of the street. We can't be still talking about sides of the street when we talk about this YTC, you know what I'm saying, media shit, right? We're not talking about what Errol Spence said when it comes to cleaning up the street. Come on, man. That shit is too clandestine to even bring up as something in this modern era of media reporting. It makes no sense to talk about the side of the street. Matter of fact, let me help you out. Let me help you out. Bud said that they made up the side of the street. They tried to blackball that man and talk about the side of the street to try to keep him outside. So since Errol Spence, in your words, cleaned up his side of the street, let me ask you this. What difference does it make if you collected 3 belts winning to complete the declaration that you needed to become undisputed welterweight? You had to go see Bud Crawford. What is the point? You trying to make it seem like Bud couldn't go out there and fight for any of those belts that Errol has? You want to bring up Errol Spence cleaning up his side of the street like he didn't have to go see Bud as the last man standing? Of course he did. He had to go see the man. What more do you want him to do? It takes 4 belts in this 4-belt era to come undisputed, right? So in order for it to be bragging rights, at the end of the day, for Errol Spence Jr., he would have had to go see Bud Crawford for that WBO title. That's easy work. That's easy. Why isn't it easy for you to understand that you shouldn't be bringing this shit up? That's old news. That's trash, bro. You're talking about Errol said he was going to do what he wanted to do. Man, come on now. We passed that. Errol believed a lot of things before he actually threw the first punch and got out the first round and experienced his first knockdown. It's a lot that he believed in. Once the second round was over, it's a lot that he didn't believe in. I will give him credit for being a dog. Errol got mad hard. He kept getting up and getting up and getting up. But see, that's what I'm waiting on you all to do, to basically compliment Bud on going in there and dominating. Because you say the Budrick fans, I want to hear the Snotty boys. I want to hear them compliment Bud on going in there doing what you all didn't believe he can do. He went in there and whooped that boy easy. Easy. Y'all didn't see that coming? See, I'm looking at all the sign and everything that, that y'all do on your live streams and everything. I could only imagine when you all was watching that fight play out in the T-Mobile Arena. You probably had your both of your hands over your eyes, see no evil. I bet you changed the position from your hands over your eyes and put them over your ears, hear no evil. You know what I'm saying? And then you put both of your hands over your mouth because you could not speak. You could not speak at that time. You know, because Bud was over there whooping ass and having a conversation, a sidebar with Jamel Charlo. You say, God damn, that nigga cold. God damn, that nigga cold. That's a cold ass nigga, Budrick. But I ain't gonna never say that shit on live though. I'm gonna stick to the plan.
They both agreed that we could do the rematch at 154.
I'm hoping all of this is just a lot of chatter to get buzz for the rematch for when it does happen. I'm hoping that's what it is. Because they gotta make some buzz for the rematch because so many people are saying there's no need for the rematch and blah da 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 da. So maybe they're doing all of this, building up something for the rematch to actually happen, and for Bud to say, fuck y'all, fuck Spence. I whooped his ass at 47. I could whoop his ass at 54. And then they do it at 54. Maybe that's what all it is.
That's probably the best part I've heard in this whole entire live stream. That's exactly probably what Bud is talking about. Once again, I don't speak for him, but that's probably his mentality. He's probably thinking that way. He's probably saying to himself, yeah, I can whoop his ass easily at 54. You saw what I did at 47. How many pounds do you think is from 47 to 54? Come on, how many pounds we looking at now? You know what I'm saying? We don't need a Brinks truck for that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, how many pounds is that, man? You know how many pounds is that? That's not that much. I guarantee you, them fighters was in the ring heavier than 54. They fought in the high 50s. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was some whatever, it wasn't, from what I understood, it wasn't no rematch. I mean, no rehydration and all that other shit people's talking about. So I didn't hear them say, okay, they can only rehydrate up 10 pounds. So they couldn't go higher than 157. I didn't hear none of that. But when he started putting them paws on that boy, goddamn it. Man, there was a lot of people up here talking about, man, Bud looked like a super heavyweight, man. That wasn't even fair, man. That snack program, man, somebody should test him. Did he get tested? That snack, man, that snack. Then snack comes into play. And you about to hear it go down.
Maybe they're just creating buzz.
Well, ain't no buzz because Errol ain't saying shit, and I need him to say something.
That's my thing. I'm going back there. Why is the camp so quiet?
That's what I'm talking about, Nick J. Talk about your mans. That's what you need to be talking about. The camp was quiet before July 29th. The reason why he quiet now is because what is he going to talk about? It's nothing for him to talk about. Crawford has all the negotiation prowess. It is in his court. So therefore, all they can do is discuss. You know what I'm saying? What Crawford wants, Crawford should get. They should pay that man to fight at 154 because he's appeasing Errol Spence. Errol is the one who basically homesteaded in 47 longer than what he should have. He did that. Bud didn't force him to do that.
You ain't never been this quiet before in your life. And I know you quiet. I know.
They wouldn't even quiet at the accident.
Somebody needs to say something.
Which is bad. Which is
just a lot of chatter to get buzz for the rematch for when it does happen. I'm hoping that's what it is. Because they gotta make some buzz for the rematch because so many people are saying there's no need for the rematch and blah da 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 da. So maybe they're doing all of this, building up something for the rematch to actually happen.
It ain't nothing to build up. See, one thing you cannot deny is that when you get that many humans in one centralized location and they see what played out, you don't have to build up shit no more. It was too many witnesses.
And for Bud to say, fuck y'all, fuck Spence. I whooped his ass at 47. I could whoop his ass at 54. And then they do it at 54. Maybe that's what all of this is. Maybe they're just creating buzz.
Well, ain't no buzz because Errol ain't saying shit, and I need him to say something.
That's my thing. I'm going back there. Why is the camp so quiet? You ain't never been this quiet before in your life, and I know you quiet. I know.
They wouldn't even quiet at the accident.
Somebody needs to say something. I mean, some type of formal written statement, something. Because we out here like,
we out here.
We here.
Y'all have no other reason except to be out there. Because that's where Terrence Crawford left y'all when y'all was in the arena jumping up and down when he was walking to the ring saying that Crawford about to get his ass whooping. I know. You all was happy in a motherfucker before that goddamn bell sounded. You know what I'm saying? History is what it is. I don't like to peel back, the scar tissue and the scabs off old wounds, but yes, sometimes it's required. You know what I'm saying? And when you peel back that scab, you need to have all the acidic type liquids in your hand right away. You know what I'm saying? Orange peels, lemon juice. You know what I'm saying? Apple cider vinegar. You know what I'm saying? All the toxic ingredients to just sprinkle all over that wound and put that sting and rejuvenate someone's freaking energy so it can wake them up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to be woken up a little bit. Y'all still up here, living as if you're in denial about who has the juice. When you accept that Terrence Crawford has the juice, then you'll be at one with yourself. You wouldn't be going on here doing these live streams acting like you don't know. You got to know. Heavy is the head who wears the MF crown.
We steady taking these motherfucking licks, and ain't nobody saying that you ain't even helping the fucking fans. Like, we here because of you. Help me, help you.
Help me, help you. That's all
I can't help y'all asses.
Stravinsky came back. He says, Bud is still ranting like he's the B-side. You won the fight, but your behavior is strange, like you're not getting enough attention. You're not as big of a star as you thought, huh? Let EJ get back at 154. No.
See, people when they spend their money, I don't really get, I really don't dictate how they spend it. If they want to put a dumbass super chat up there and support the channel, I don't really worry about people how they get their money on who's supporting them with super chats. But what you put in the comment is stupid as hell. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you're not even a casual boxing fan. You just there for attention to have your name come across the screen because you're talking about somebody's behavior. Now all of a sudden he's supposed to act like he's wearing this suit of righteousness. All of a sudden, Bud Crawford goes in there and whoop ass in a full contact sport, and he gets it done in dominating fashion. He's supposed to sit up here and appease the peons. That is stupid as hell. People are talking about not getting enough attention. The man's did enough press. When people were saying that he don't speak to the media, he's done an astounding amount of press coverage. He's been around. He's made his stops. I mean, the way it's supposed to be. And this hater is up here talking about he's not getting enough attention. You're not as big a star you thought. Okay, if you think he's not a bigger star you thought, let's just say that that's the way you believe. Who has negotiation power on where the fight is at 147, 154? Answer me that question. Who is in control of that? The winner or the loser? Which one? The winner or the loser?
Oh, that's too much like Rice Stravinsky. And that is too much.
He gonna have to make it at 154 drink, or I'm gonna be looking at y'all. I like to make up a whole lot of things. And one thing I said I wasn't ever gonna do, I wasn't gonna take the Wilder route. But I promise you, Bud, don't make that rematch at 154. I'm going the Wilder route, and it's gonna be some real life. Y'all gonna be like, this Boxiana is insane. You motherfucking Skippy, the dope. It was there. I don't want to get the guessing. Y'all.
So let me try to basically interpret what you're saying. So pretty much, let's just say you are who you say you are. You're not a clone. So pretty much what you're telling the people is, in real life, if you don't get what you want, you be willing to lie on the situation in order to get the negative attention than the positive attention. The positive attention comes from naturally you requesting a situation to play out the way you want it to play out, but you don't have no control over that situation playing out the way. You have to wait and see if it actually plays itself out in your favor. And then on the flip side, if you choose to create a lie, you have influence on that lie, and you're happy to say that you can influence that lie. And that's exactly what I'm talking about with the snotty boys. They done spent so much time creating these lies and speaking ill will of Terrence Crawford that's a lot of stress on y'all. You have influence of pushing bogus ass biased narratives. Yeah, you have influence, but the result that you really want, that's a lot more healthier result, you don't have no influence over, because you know what you say from the outside in is not going to influence Crawford one way, no how. He's not going to make a decision to fight at 147 because of what the YTC says. The only thing y'all doing for him is pissing him off. That's it. I mean, the truth be told, that's all you're doing. You're just pissing him off. That's all. You're just pissing that man off, period. You know, you don't have influence on who he's going to select. You don't have no influence whatsoever. So if he don't give you the fight at 154 and you create a lie and say he's on the juice, and then the test, there's no test to validate what you're saying, you're just going to be up here bullshitting the people. And, you know, a lot of y'all feel comfortable doing that shit. But I'm saying it's not going to make a difference. You're not going to get anything anymore out of this shit. If he don't give you the fight at 154, guess what? You're going to have to sit and take it. You're going to have to sit and take it. It's not going to be anything you can do about it. You're going to have to sit and take it, period.
I don't make that fucking rematch at 154. I'm looking at y'all sideways.
Oh,
yeah, PPLC, we seen the fight. And what we telling you is, because it seems like you a Bud fan too, if the fight don't get made at 154, I'm asking questions. And y'all ain't gonna like my questions. Now I'm gonna be back a Bud hater. Go ahead, friend.
OG Ill Gil says, hey ladies, hey Gil. He says this boxing shit is getting really weird. Gil, it is. It is, and it's kind of taking the wind out of my sails a little bit, you know.
Well, you know, if it's getting weird, it should have been weird already, because at the end of the day, you all seen what played out July 29th. I mean, did you not? I mean, a lot of other people did. I mean, did you not see what played out? I mean, what's weird about that? You paid airfare, lodging. You took a trip along with others to congregate in a centralized location, like I mentioned earlier, to witness a fight. And that fight did not play out in your favor. Not so much to the point where it became hard to watch. You know what I'm saying? It became hard to watch. So with that said, you had the opportunity to see one of the greatest fights of this era. Both of y'all. You had the opportunity to see it. So how, if you knew there was a contract head in there, and Crawford is the one that's calling the shots right now, why won't you respect the fact that if he doesn't want to fight at 54, regardless of what he said, don't you want to look at it from a business standpoint on what's been out here to the media, that they are refusing to pay this man what he wants to make the fight at 154? If Crawford is now the A side, and you saw what happened with him when he was the B side, you don't think he's not going to digress? No, he's going to stand on all 10 and make sure the money is right moving forward. He's not going to appease the YTC community all because they're doing the exact same thing they did prior to the fight. They're criticizing him, ridiculing him. You know, they're sitting up here being belligerent for no reason. And they want to always talk about character, and all this other shit. Don't nobody want to hear about that. Nobody's talking about the same side of the street. Don't nobody want to hear none of that bullshit. We're talking about new, refreshing, current, updated information. The update is Terrence Crawford resume says 40 victories. That's the update. Point blank, period. Whether you like it or not, that's the update. You cannot erase it. That's the update. When we look on Errol Spence's record, it says what? 28-1, numero uno, 1. You can't change that. So regardless if you hear the news you want and you want to come up here and say, oh, I'm going to start talking, you would be one of many. You hear me, Boxiana? You would be one of many. What you say ain't going to do anything. It's just going to be good content for the gullible naysayers that's in the chat that believe that bullshit. You're going to be one of many that's making up lies on Bud. He already heard all of them. He already heard them. So you're just going to be wasting your oxygen. You're going to be practicing. That's all.
I love boxing, but I don't know. Stavisky came back. He says that snack pack won't help at 55.
Cause you know, I hate to ask what kind of snacks y'all been eating out of Bo Mac belly button.
And here we go. See, I guess y'all didn't learn what happened to Derek James for speaking about a man that wasn't going to be in the ring. Queens. Y'all didn't check how that happened. Y'all didn't really see how that played out. You know, y'all talking about a man that's not going to be in the ring. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about somebody eating snacks out of off of Bomac, but Bomac is not the one in the ring. Bomac proved to you all the instructions that he was giving his fighter. He proved to you all that everything he was saying about Derek James not going up against him nor his staff proved out to be absolutely 1,000% correct. They wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't ready for that. They wasn't ready to go in there and compete against Bomac and his staff. Bomac said, Bo, you no more hiding. You haven't went up against me nor my staff. So if you're concerned about the snack, you're focusing that energy on the wrong person. Call up Victor Conti. Call up Tavada. Call up and get with your people and submit paperwork to every individual that allowed Victor Conte to basically intervene and have a presence with having boxers on his program. And those boxers are able to go into testing, voluntary anti-doping agency, go in there and get tested as fighters on the snack supplements and pass. Explain that. Explain that. I really want you to explain that to me. Explain that shit. That's all I'm saying. Explain it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all hold on for a split second.
Just because he gone don't mean he ain't getting to work too. Hey, they all gonna get it. The milk is bad in the refrigerator. Let that fight not get made at 154. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what y'all said. He the A side, he get to choose. And what he told the people was we was making the rematch at 154. So what I expect to see is a rematch at 154. Or y'all been eating snacks out of Bo Mac belly button. Finally, answer.
Coach Amber says Jealousy of the way other people still love you. They expected us to abandon our guy like they would have done Bud if he had lost. Coach Amber, you said a word.
I don't quite get that. It's not for me to get. You know what I'm saying? I will actually, reply to certain comments, but that was just flat out stupid. You know what I'm saying? Jealousy. I don't think anybody's jealous of anybody, to say that Crawford fans would abandon him if he lost. Well, if we're talking in hindsight, let's talk about how much the aerosexuals actually talked about Bud when they should have been talking about Spence. If we want to go there, let's talk about how you all spent so much time talking about Bud like you are now instead of talking about Spence. That's what I was doing. I mean, I was talking about Bud most of the time on what he was gonna, how the situation was gonna play out with Spence. I mean, y'all was busy talking about Bud too. So whose name is gonna pop more in the algorithm? It's gonna be Crawford's name. And explain that to the people. You know what I'm saying? If you're talking about Bud fans who was talking about Bud previously to July 29th was speaking highly on what was going to play out in the ring, and you all up here talking about the Bud, how are y'all talking about who's going to abandon who? Because that's what it seems like y'all did to Arrow. Y'all abandoned him since he returned from the car accident. Y'all want to pretend like, you wanted to treat him as the man, but you weren't quite sure he had it in him. Y'all want to sit up here and brag about what he did to Ugas, but Ugas wasn't Crawford.
Honey, you said a whole word. People, that's why they over here. That's why they really over here. Because they wanted to see us hurt and they thought they were going to see us jump ship.
Oh, y'all hurt. WCS will tell you, y'all hurt. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Y'all hurt. Y'all hurt. That's why you got Boxiana over there willing to make up lies if she don't get the fight that she wanted 154. Oh, that's hurt. That's pain. You know what I'm saying? That's pain right there. That's hurt. Yes, sir. That's hurt. Hurt. It works itself out in mysterious ways, especially when people want to create lies. They always talk about hurt people. That's what we see what's going on with the YTC. You know what I'm saying? The snotty boys are hurt. That's why every time you see them, they whining and frowned up and shit like that because they didn't get the results that they wanted at the end of the day. I get it. You get it. We on the same sheet of music, man. Y'all are hurt. And that pain ain't going nowhere fast, goddammit.
But since they didn't see that, they come on back over here every day to take every week.
Because you know what? It's a whole lot of Spence fans that I don't even fuck with no more because they some damn coat riding, dick hanging ass niggas. Because I promise you before the fight, they were Spence fans. But I promise you, since
I'm curious why it's so easy. Maybe they hanging off the nipple of a flat ass titty. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people on this YouTube find it very easy to, always talk about, dicks when it come to dudes. Maybe the dude was hanging off a flat ass, hanging old, antiquated, flat, freaking mushy ass nipple. You know what I'm saying? That was hanging off all the way down to the belly button. Maybe that's what they were swinging off of. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that was it. Seriously, maybe that was it. Maybe they were swimming in a tunnel. They was backstroking all the way through the tunnel and shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to work on their swim qualifications. Maybe that was it. Because it was rough waters when it came to Bud and freaking Arrow. You know what I'm saying? It was rough waters. Maybe that was it.
July 30th forward, they have been on the Bud train. Anything that's gonna get them views over there to their channel. Everybody love Bud now. We ain't no switching up over here. If we locked in, ain't no switching up. We
ain't gonna be here. And the thing about
it's weird.
The thing about it over here is you can prove me wrong. And
that's easy. That's easy work. I need something that's gonna, kind of pick up the pulse a little bit. To, you know what I'm saying? That's what I need. I mean, proving you wrong. That's easy. That's just too easy, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's like I'm moonwalking backwards to prove that shit wrong. It's like it's a lot that you all have already walked yourselves into and proved to the people that you're willing to do right now. You know what I'm saying? If you don't get what you want, just off a fighter who has earned the spot. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that if Errol Spence would have earned the same spot, if he would have won July 29th, then it wouldn't be no negotiation. He don't deserve it. See, Errol did all the lifting. So therefore, since he did all the lifting and collected his WBO belt, he has nothing else to prove. He can move up to 54. Y'all will sit up here and be insinuating that he don't have to fight Crawford. He can go up to 54 because he did all the heavy lifting and he pretty much did everything he needed to do at 47. He don't need to stay here any longer. It's tough on him. He had a rough weight cut. He had grueling negotiations. You know what I'm saying? Y'all would have been encouraging. Y'all would have had a hand in his back. Spence, let me walk you over to 154 and introduce you to the staff that you're going to be working with in 154. And they're going to really help you get acclimated to this new division. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Becoming undisputed. Oh my God, what a fight. What a fight. We had our reservations, but you pulled it out.
I'm going to say that too, but I'm going to still like who the fuck I like. Still going to like them. Win, lose, or draw.
And ain't nothing gonna change that.
Sorry. Todd French 600. He says EJ is quiet because he has to sweet talk Bud's scary ass into a 154-pound fight now. Now I understand why the PBC said leave Bud alone. LOL. Bud is a weirdo and is.
So when people agree that a fighter's a weirdo, this is the same weirdo that have you on here talking about why that weirdo inflicted as much damage as he did on your favorite fighter. Somebody please help them. I don't need help. I don't need help. This is very, very light reaction to this. These people who are spending their own time and effort dropping super chats and saying weird shit. That's what should be noted. Saying that a fighter is weird is crazy because I don't remember Bud being in an accident. I don't remember people saying that Bud had residual neurological damage. I don't remember people saying that Bud was a clone. I don't remember people coming up with all these excuses. Bud was weight drained. You know what I'm saying? You said he'd been in the welterweight division for 3 years, right? But he came into the sport of boxing. He came into the sport of boxing prior to Errol Spence. Bud came in 08. Spence came in 2012. Bud has more tread on the tire. He'd be 36 years old in September. So what are we talking about? No, seriously. You know, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about, man? This is just, I mean, y'all need to do a little bit more research, a lot more research, a whole lot of more research for real. What are you talking about, man? How can you be talking about people weird when those weird individuals took their ass into the ring and freaking got the job done? You know, man.
A little bit is. Yeah, he is a little bit. Coach Amber also says he went from fish fry to fish and chips.
I don't get all the expressions with these goofy ass remarks. I don't, because I don't have to agree with everybody. I don't agree with everybody to leave a comment, especially at one point in time when I was able to receive super chats. We'll talk about that later. But when people get into this, what's the word I'm looking for? They get into this mode, you know what I'm saying? They get into this routine of using weirdo. They're talking about themselves, because if they're talking about a situation that doesn't have weirdo shit attached to it, we're talking about two fighters that went in there and compete against one another. That ain't weirdo shit. That's business. It might have looked a little weird seeing Errol Spence get off the canvas as many times as he did. And I understand that. That's tough to deal with. But when they keep talking about Bud weird, it's called hating. Yes, that is called hating. That's all you're doing. Only thing you're doing is just basically putting out there that you don't care to give this man credit. That's all.
Yeah, it's just interesting. Phenomenal Mexican, what's up? He says thuggish, ruggish Bud has a chip on his shoulder. Isn't that something? Like, champion.
Now, Nori, let me ask you a question. Victor Conte thinks EJ is juicing. Ain't he the snack man?
And is.
He know juice when he see one, don't he? Ain't that funny? I wonder if he got that same opinion about Bud since he be walking around in them snack shirts.
I don't think y'all really want to go there about fighters juicing, being that there's pictures out there, being that certain fighters had fights in their hometown. I don't think you really want to go there, only because it's an acronym that's now attached to sponsorship or what have you, or program that Bud is a part of along with other fighters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we really don't want to go there about what he looked like when he fought Yardenas Ugas April 22nd. And he looked like a shell of himself, in his words, about Sean Porter when he stepped in here to try to fight Bud Crawford. Come on, he was super shredded a month and a half out prior to Yardenas Ugas, because the fight was going down at AT&T in his backyard. But when he had to come outside those perimeters, I put it out there. I said he's gonna have a tough time cutting weight, because that Texas T, he can't bring that shit outside Vegas. That's a fact, ladies. That's a fact right there. So you want to talk about a fighter being dirty? Let's talk about how Al Haymon did not want any of the drug testing to be made public, and he wanted to keep it hush hush. Why? Why is that? Why is that? If it's not a big deal, why did Victor Conte? You mentioned Victor Conte, right? Then he come out and say, "Hey, we're waiting on Errol Spence response. Crawford has already agreed to take drug tests and already took a drug test. We waiting on you." Come on now, keep it level, keep it equal on both sides. Don't just tell part of the story.
Let's not do that. I've been waiting for the opportunity. People be like, you know what? They waiting for me to go down that rabbit hole. I'm telling you. I'm finna give folks what they asking for, friend.
PPLC, he asked a question, a good question. He says, what adjustments can EJ make in a couple of months? The weight don't matter. I actually have to disagree with you a little bit on that. And I'm just straight talking boxing, actually, PPLC.
Oh, she's talking boxing. Wow.
That weight, for me, this is how I saw the fight. Okay, and I know a lot of people may disagree. But after I watched the fight a few times, because it took me a minute to rewatch the fight.
I know. That's what we talking about, hurt. Okay. yeah. Well, damn, it's getting good. Yeah, because you hurt. I know. It took you a while to rewatch that massacre. I understand where you're coming from. It took a minute for you to redial it all back in. You know what I'm saying? I get it. It took you a minute to watch that play out and see how Budrick, as y'all call him, was destroying that dude. I get it.
Don't lie. But for me, that weight cut prevented a multitude of things. And one of the biggest things for me, which a lot of people they just don't acknowledge, is punch resistance.
Oh, hey, somebody grab another toilet roll. This one has been used up, and we need a fresh toilet roll, please, to wipe the shit away from all these excuses. Please, somebody grab another toilet roll. Matter of fact, bring two, because this ain't gonna stop. The punch resistance. Look, it's hilarious that punch resistance was never a thing when he was getting hit by Yardenas Ugas. Nobody was talking about punch resistance. Look, he had a fight with Ugas at 47, April 16th of last year. No, neither one of you was talking about freaking punch resistance. So all of a sudden now you want to talk about punch resistance because you talking about boxing, punch resistance. How do you know what his weight cut is? He never complained about his weight cut. So how is it a point of confusion that you all don't understand that that's not a route you should go? If your fighter that you're talking about isn't talking about punch resistance or the weight cut, why are you talking about it? The man weighed in at 147 even. Why are you talking about it? Crawford, why aren't you talking about his punch resistance? And he said he's struggling to make 147. I'm not gathering this, they're queens of the ring. Ding, dang. Come on now. Come on, get in the fight now. What do y'all do? Y'all still suffering from that audience, that witness, that bystander PTSD? I mean, how can you sit up here and say that, bro? How can you say that? Punch resistance. When have y'all ever bring up one live where you supporting other fighters and you brought up punch resistance? Were y'all saying that about Shakur Stevenson? Because I was at that fight when he fought Consacio, right? I was there when he was drained and dry. I took a picture of him over there standing, looked sunken in. Will y'all talk about his punch resistance? Because he went in there and won that fight. Will y'all talking about Devin Haney punch resistance in this rematch with Kambosos? How sucked in he looked? Huh? Did you talk about Mikey Garcia's punch resistance when he fought Robert Easter 135 and he looked like a soggy tater tot? Did y'all talk about his punch resistance? Because he went in there and dropped Robert Easter in the third round. So this punch resistance y'all talking about is a farce. Truth be told, it's just good for conversation because you've been listening to other people on the YTC talk that shit. You know what I'm saying? That is bogus. That's fraud type behavior. That's just falling alone in the herded type circle of listening. Oh, okay, this sheep, that sheep, 1 sheep, 2 sheep, 3 sheep, 5, 6 sheep, 7 sheep, 8 sheep. All of y'all are walking around in the same freaking circle and talking about his weight cut, his punch resistance. Come on now. The man fought at the same weight when he fought Ugas. The man agreed to take the fight. Y'all was up here talking how big he looked when he was them in the presser next to Spence. While all of a sudden, punch resistance is the 2 words that's going to get you all the results that you want at 154. It ain't going to change a motherfucking thing. I guarantee you. Crawford takes this fight at 154. It's going to be even worse. And what y'all going to say? Oh, well, it's the snack program. Okay.
Punch resistance is huge when you're a boxer. And if you don't have any, it's going to be very difficult for you to win a fight.
She said punch resistance is, let me just let her repeat what she just said. That was hilarious, dog. That was hilarious, man.
Cut prevented a multitude. It's punch resistance. Punch resistance is huge when you're a boxer. And if you don't have any, it's going to be very difficult for you to win a fight.
If you don't have any punch resistance, it's going to be very difficult for you to win a fight. So punch resistance. Why don't you just order some punch resistance off Amazon or something, dog? I'm pretty sure there are Prime members out there that can get so put some orders in for punch resistance. So punch resistance for a fighter, if you don't have any, it's going to be difficult for you to win a fight. Not talking about punch resistance is pretty much defense, y'all. But more so, what about the offense? Come on there, Nick. Come on, Nick. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Punch resistance, like I'm gonna be even more petty than Nick. This is what I do. I'm gonna be more petty. It seems like he had good punch resistance when Derrick James hit him in the right side of his face with that overhand left. I mean, with that left cross or that left hook, whatever you want to call it. It looked like he had good punch resistance then. When Diddy James popped him with that mitt, he didn't go down then. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go down then. What are you talking about? Punch resistance. It'll be difficult to win. Come on now. What other fighter you comparing this to that didn't have good punch resistance? That sucked themselves down in weight? Who? Rigondeaux, at his age, he was able to go all the way down the bantamweight division and still have some success at his age. What are we talking about? This punch resistance? What are we saying? Seriously, what are we saying again?
Your punch resistance is gone when you're weight drained and you're not completely there. That can be rectified. If you feel stronger, you feel better at 154, your punch resistance is gonna be better.
Cap. That's not true, Nick. You don't know that. Every fighter is not the same. You don't know that. You just talking. You know what I'm saying? You just out here loosely talking, man. Come on, bro. You got to do better than that, Queens of the Ring. Y'all got to do better than that. Y'all, real talk. I'm speaking from one black man to 2 queens. God damn it. Y'all got to do better than this, man. For real. Queens of the Ring. Y'all got to do better than this, bro. You can't just sit up here and use and talk about your punch resistance is going to be better, and without understanding the dynamic of the offense from each fighter. How's their technical skills, man? Who has power, who don't? Who's a boxer, who's a brawler? You know what I'm saying? Are both of them a boxer? You know what I'm saying? Who has the higher ring IQ? You talking about punch resistance? We're talking about punch resistance, all because Crawford was able to do something that a lot of people didn't think he was able to do. Not only that, a lot of fighters don't have success going to the head the way Crawford did. What I mean about that, his counter punches was landing flush on Spence's cranial cap. And you know, that was jolting that brain that was encased inside that skull. You know what I'm saying? So you know, punch resistance is does that mean to the body? Does that mean to the body punch resistance? Or we just talking about, oh, he was weight drained, and when Crawford landed those shots to the head, he couldn't stand up. He was just off balance. Because the first round, I'm pretty sure y'all was in the arena throwing up popcorn and shit to my yeah, that's Spence we know. Until the second round, until the second round hit, and then all of a sudden, boom, it started playing out the way it did. None of y'all was talking about no punch resistance. None of you all was talking about no motherfucking punch resistance. And how do you know how weight drained he was? How? Just because he said he'd been at the weight division? If someone choose to make a declaration, aren't you going to hold Spence to it? Because you sure enough holding Crawford to it. If Spence chose to stay at the welterweight division for this long, right? Right? Why are you sitting up here acting like all of a sudden this shit changes when it comes to Crawford? Hey, Queens of the Ring, stop the madness, man. What is going on with y'all? What is going on? This shit is hilarious. Punch resistant. What about the offense, bro? What about the offense? What about them actually putting punch combinations together? The exchanges, you know, what are they boxing or what are they infighting? What about that? You're just talking about, hey, it's gonna be difficult for a fighter. What if the fighter don't have power and they came in the fight drained? Look, his opponent came in the fight drained, and his opponent don't have power. Is it still going to be a punch resistant issue? You know, when they're in the fight and everything. Come on now. That's just wild, dog.
You're not gonna be weak. You're gonna be stronger. So I feel like the punch resistance aspect of the fight is one that people really aren't talking about a lot.
The punch resistant aspect of the fight is what people's not talking about, because it had nothing to do with anything. Both fighters had to weigh in at the 147-pound limit, ladies. You know what I'm saying? Both of them had to weigh in at the 147-pound limit. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Punch resistance and all that? What are you saying? Come on, man. Everybody's physical anatomy is not the same when it comes to them working out what they putting in their body. You know what I'm saying? What they're demanding of their body, the training regimen that they have to go through. Everybody's physical anatomy is different. We know that. God damn, man.
That's been a big thing for EJ for a lot of his fight. He's walked through a lot of shit. And I know that power jab was great. But that punch resistance being gone plus that power jab is why we got the result that we got.
Cap, that's a lie. You should be ashamed of yourself pushing a false ass narrative like that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit right there. You don't believe none of that shit you saying. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe none of that. How can you even come out your mouth and think that's going to reinforce your narrative? No, your narrative is garbage. Real talk, Nick. Your narrative is garbage. And it stands for plausible criticism. Truth be told, miss. You know what I'm saying? You want to say that's the reason why the fight played out the way it did. So you're crediting Crawford with minimal technique, minimal boxing IQ, minimal everything that encompass him going in there and beating Spence the way it do. You refuse to give this man his credit. That's called hating, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man. Look, I don't need to go into a lengthy depth of proficiency in boxing history on in comparison of what fighters fought who and how it all played out as results. I don't need to do that. But you sitting up here trying to sell that shit to the people as if it has nutritional value is bullshit. You might as well tell somebody to goddamn eat a bowl of paper. You know what I'm saying? Just eat this bowl of paper. It's the notes that I took down in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure they're gone. I don't want to relive that no more. I was going to talk about it. But yeah, go ahead. Pour some milk on there, that spoiled milk that's in the fridge that freaking Boxiana keep talking about. Pour some of that old milk on there and goddamn, clean your bowl up. You know what I'm saying? Clean your bowl up. Eat that paper. You know what I'm saying? Have some of that damn smelly milk, that funky milk in there, and then be good. Because shit, the only thing I smell right now is the denial that y'all got going on and refusing to acknowledge this shit for what it is. That's what I see. It smells bad. It reeks. And y'all should know that, man. You're up here talking about punch resistance. Man, come on. Where's your evidence? Where's your scientific evidence? How many fighters have you did studies on to see that punch resistance plays a significant role when it comes to Errol Spence and other fighters? Where's your scientific proof? What tests have you done? What gyms have you went up there and sat? And I mention this all the time there, Queens. How many gyms have y'all sat in to smell the must? Y'all want to talk about dick and everything else, people swinging on dick. How many times have you been to the gyms to see the actual dicks in the sparring? You know what I'm saying? Have you been there to kind of get a feel of what happens in sparring? Or y'all just, oh man, I don't want to go in there because I don't want to get my clothes all nice and smelly and all that. Have y'all went in there to a hot, humid, sweaty, funky, musty gym and seen these guys put in the work? No. So how are you going to talk about punch resistance? Huh? How many fights have you covered? I want to know, have you put in the marching? You know what I'm saying? Have you covered the distance on fight week for you to come up with this information, for you to get a better understanding to talk to your freaking audience? No, you haven't.
I'm sorry. You cannot make me believe that if his punch resistance was the same, that the fight would have been what we saw. It just would not have. That's just me. That's how I feel about it. Could be wrong.
John Nori, I just want to know, why on earth are you looking at another man's nipples? And I think that every time y'all say something about Errol Spence Jr.'s nipples, it makes me wonder what y'all do in y'all private life. Because as a grown straight man, like, how do you know that a man's nipples are enlarged?
Okay, check this out. This is where we at in this era, right? So we have people that's busy worrying about somebody swinging on niggas' nuts and dicks, right? But yet, John Nori is attempting to explain to them and educate them on the residual effects. You know what I'm saying? The appearances that can happen with PED usage. That's he's trying to do. But sometimes you have to level down to your audience. You know how they say some fighters, they fight up to the level of their competition, fight down to the level of their competition. In this case, John Nori was trying to explain the swelling of the nipples, which is a cause of certain PED uses. It's out there. And not just John Nori, but the information is out here on Google where other people have made note of that on certain fighters. So for you, Boxiana, to try to make it a homoerotic type of shit just only shows where your mind is at when it comes to having an intellectual conversation about the nipple standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Because why did John Nori mention that? Because you are insinuating that Terrence Crawford on the snack program that he is on some supplements. And if you don't get what you want at 154, you're going to push the narrative about him being juiced up. So therefore, John Norrie was attempting to explain to you the results of certain people, certain fighters, you know what I'm saying, how it may look when it comes to their nipples when it's males, how their nipples can swell up from pad use. That's what he was trying to explain to you. But you want to take it somewhere else. And look, if it was a man doing that to you all, then it would be disrespect. Then they'll be blocked and everything else. But he was trying to provide you that visual, intellectual visual, and explain to you when you're talking about pads. But you on some whole nother other time.
If you're not looking, or your eyes are first. But that's neither here nor there. And I want y'all to get in here and lie and say that y'all ain't noticed that now that you're in your 30s, you got boobs. 40s. I know y'all in y'all 50s got some titties. So don't get in here and act new to the titty game.
See, that shit don't have nothing to do with anything. Boxiana, real talk. Can we just stay on topic? That don't have nothing to do with anything.
In that second round, it was quiet. Okay. Now, if it had been a pro or a evenly mixed fight, the crowd would have been roaring for Terrence Crawford. It got quiet because EJ fans were quiet.
So you're pretty much saying that, you know, when the massacre started to play itself out, that fans was quiet. See, once again, let me educate you, Nick. They was quiet because of what they was witnessing. That's all that was. Let me remind you, Nick. I go over here. Let me remind you. All right. Let me remind you what it looked like in there. This is what it looked like. You got that many witnesses to a crime, people gonna get quiet because they're looking at each other. God damn. Shit. What? Didn't see that coming. Damn. You know what I'm saying? That's the you have that many people in the arena. And they seeing this stuff play out, Nick. You understand, Nick? That's why people got quiet. And you're not gonna convince everyone that the whole arena was silenced because they was EJ fans. Stop the cap, man. Come on, have some type of truth to what you're talking about. You want this to be believable outside of your channel, right? What are you doing? If this still have not, I thought I seen you right up there through the third rope. That might be you with your hand over your mouth. For real. I think that was you. When you seen him on the canvas, who was he looking at? What was it, you over there waving the white towel and you was trying to throw some white towels in, but they couldn't make it because they was napkins. You was trying to throw in the white towel. Come on, man. You was there for this, Nick. Boxiana, when y'all there? When then y'all plan this private excursion to be there to witness this, and you're trying to convince us that the crowd was quiet because they was EJ fans and he was getting beat up, and that's why people was just quiet. They was quiet because of the Hulk. You know, whenever the Hulk smash, shit get quiet. You know what I'm saying? Shit get quiet when David Banner's in the room. Ain't nobody trying to piss him off. Come on, stop the madness, man. Come on. It was too many people that was there for the crime. You know what I'm saying? They seen the shit play out. They did. They seen it play out, yo.
So yeah, that's why I'm kind of torn. I would love to see rematch at 154, but I'm eager to see what kind of numbers Bud the Great would do without EJ, without Canelo. I would.
Nick, why don't you just pay attention to what the topic of the conversation is? When you initially started this live, you was more concerned about the fight being in 154, right? I think that should be your focal point, because when y'all start talking about whether he did 600K, 6.5K, or 700K, it's not going to change the results that's recorded. The recorded results on his boxing register says that he beat EJ. He beat Errol Spence Jr. So to continue to try to ridicule this man based off the numbers on what he would do, let's back this shit up like Michael Jackson on a video Thriller, right? Let's moonwalk this bitch back, right? What kind of numbers did Errol Spence do outside of Mikey Garcia? A fight that was in his backyard where it was majority Mexican fans. What did he do? Did he continue to exceed expectations with the numbers, the so-called numbers that he made with Mikey Garcia? No. The next fighter after Mikey Garcia for him to do those numbers was who again? Who? WHO. We're not talking about the World Health Order. The World Health Organization. Who are we talking about? Terrence Crawford. So why are you wondering what numbers Bud would do outside of Errol Spence when he is the A-side official, Nick and Boxiana, Queens of the Ring? He's the A-side. It don't matter what numbers he's getting. Do y'all ask that same question to Canelo? No, you don't. No, you do not.
Love to see what kind of numbers Bud would do with maybe Charlo, because they have a very good fight brewing if Charlo wins. Words, and it's cool that we can agree to disagree. But I really do want to see the fight at 154. I would love to see it at 154. I would love for Bud to keep his word and do what he said he was going to do. I would love for him to continue to be as gracious as he pretended he was after he won the fight. If all those things are true.
So you can see how the hate exude from these snotty boys. Real talk. Them aerosexuals, aka the snotty boys, you can see how the hate exudes out their pores, because they pretty much wasn't talking about what Bud should be doing. They was pretty much saying what Bud can't do leading up to July 29th. Am I right or wrong, people? They were saying what he can't do, what he wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about what Errol Spence was doing leading up to that, what he was going to do to Terrence Crawford. All that. Bud ain't gonna be able to do this, but Errol's gonna do this. Bud ain't gonna be able to do that. That's where you went wrong. That's why you looked at the fight the way you did. You have high expectations. You should have went in there with no expectations, no disappointment, but you went in there with high expectations, and it was spoiled, just like that milk in the fridge.
If he felt like, this fight wouldn't have happened without Errol Spence Jr., hopefully, since Errol bended so much, since he compromised so much to make the first fight happen, he could find it in his manhood and stand on his word like he said he would.
I like that. I like how, women of this day always want to question a man's manhood. That's hilarious, because it took a man to step in the ropes and beat that man up the way he did. I guess that wasn't enough. I guess that wasn't enough of a manhood to go in there and get the victory, especially 35 years old. For people who was insinuating that the man was too old to go in there and fight, only a fighter who was 2 years younger. You know what I'm saying? Bud Crawford was too old. And they was bragging about how Errol Spence was coming off an accident and he was so much greater. He did all the heavy lifting. You know what I'm saying? He didn't make no excuses. He didn't want no tune-ups until the manhood played itself out inside that square, and he went in there and started whooping ass. Huh, that Boxiana Nick J? Huh? You know what I'm saying? See, the good thing about it, if the both of you was to fight Terrence Crawford on the same night at the same time, his manhood would not be in question, because people will see, just like they seen Errol Spence, he can pretty much have y'all the first 2 rounds and it will be easy work. So then y'all will go back to your seats looking the way Errol Spence did once the fight was ended, and y'all would say to yourselves, well, hey, girlfriend, do y'all have any more tissue? Dang, that shit hurt. I'm not going to do that. And I'm out to talk to Clarissa Shields. She don't need to be fucking with these male fighters. I'm out to talk to her. She shouldn't be fucking around with them niggas like that. God damn. It's saying I need to work on my punch resistance for real. But and then Boxiana say, well, Nick, how you gonna work on your punch resistance? You didn't have to drop weight. I'm just saying, it's every time I turned around, I couldn't resist with getting hit with another shot. Well, girlfriend, you say it like that. We both need to work on our punch resistance. Yeah, man, that shit was tougher than I thought. I'm just saying, like, come on, bro. Come on, what are we talking about, man? What are we talking about here? What shit are y'all talking about? Manhood. That's one thing when you talk about boxing, and let's just say you choose not to talk about the women's sport. But when you talk about men's sport, even the most mediocre fighters still have to walk in the ring and put on display their manhood. They still have to go in there and compete. That takes a lot of effort. You know what I'm saying? To have the cojones and the courage to go in there and compete against another. You shouldn't dare, have that shit flow off your tongue so easy just because you're trying to speak on one fighter who is shown to be that guy. He's him. And speak of manhood. Come on, Nick. Come on, man. You better than this.
Maybe. We shall see. Friend, is there anything else you want to talk about? This main event is about to come on.
Friend, I think we covered everything. If you are new here.
No, not doing it. So let's get to some tweets, right? Let's get to some tweets. Errol Spence, I don't apologize for inactivity. Hopefully it makes sense in a few weeks. So therefore, that's his tweet put out there. He don't apologize for inactivity. But once again, he's good with being out the ring. Less time than it took him to fight Ugas. He was out longer when he stepped in to fight Ugas than he was to fight Terrence Crawford. Okay, I got it. All right. Errol, I fought after getting ejected from a car they say was going high speeds and eye surgery. He's bragging about it. He's putting it out there to the people. So why are the snotty boys up here feeling some type of way? I don't know. You have to ask them when you see him. Terrence Crawford, if your favorite fighter was number one on that list, it wouldn't be trash, huh? Some of y'all need to go to sleep and just dream because that's the only way y'all going to get y'all way. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be following the crowd and be getting tricked off and don't even know it. And that's exactly what I'm saying. When certain people push these narratives, you be getting tricked off. Because if you're going to push a narrative, at least do your research and understand what the narrative is about, Queens of the Ring. Understand what the narrative you're pushing is about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when you're talking about punch resistance and you're trying to explain to your people if he would have better punch resistance, what other fight can you compare that to? And why all of a sudden, outside of the Ugas fight, when you was just praising him for doing all the heavy lifting, you don't think he still had to make 147? He did. He had to make 147. He did. So what's the punch resistance then? Oh, it's a credit to him making 147, the same weight class, right? A year ago. You want to say all of a sudden in 2023, he didn't have punch resistance. You need to do more research on that. Seriously. Stop debating with clowns. Let them remain in the circus. And that's how I feel with freaking what I'm hearing with all these damn false ass narratives being placed about Bud. You know what I'm saying? The shit never stops. You know what I'm saying? It never stops, man. The circus act never stops. It's always members waiting outside the tent that come in there and cut some flips and jump through some rings of fire and shit. They say the cream always rises to the top, and it looks like I'm the last man standing. I know y'all mad, but it's not my plan. You know what I'm saying? It's not his plan. Y'all create a whole term here on the wrong side of the street. When in boxing, have you ever heard some shit like that till I moved up? Yes, sir. Talk your shit, bud. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how these fighters want to fight now, but back then, all they could say was, I haven't fought nobody. Now they begging to look for a check. I'm going to stop it right there. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully no one was offended while I was explaining and doing a reaction to this video, because I think it was worthy. When you have individuals out there that's willing to push false narratives and lie on fighters, what's wrong with me doing a reaction to their shit? It's public, right? I should be able to do a reaction to it. I just think both of you all need to do a bit more education on certain topics when it comes to hating on Bud. If you're gonna call him Budrick, I don't care about none of that. But if you're gonna accuse him of being on juice, at least have some type of evidence to sustain the point you're trying to make. If you say he should keep his word, then guess what? Explain to the people why you believe he should keep his word. If contractually he has the OPTIONS options, whether he want to fight at 147 or 154. Man, come on now. Come on, y'all. What they going? What's going on with these people? Let me get to the chat. No disrespect to the ladies out there, but they got to be going through some. Damn, blood's going in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's going on, Bobby King? What's good? Salute to you. World Cup at Sports say never lie. Man, I'm just trying to wake them up and give them a sense of education on this Saturday, bro. Because that bullshit they was talking last night, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. After all the shit I heard before the fight, and now y'all want to sit up here and think Bud's supposed to accommodate y'all riding in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Y'all riding in reverse. If I pull the brain out of a snotty boy, an aerosexual, and put it in a bird, the shit'll fly backwards, man. I'm straight up serious, man. Shout out to Juice Lee in the building. What's good with it, Juice? Shout out to Jessica on deck, man. Shout out to True Media Today, USA Boxing. What's good with it, Coach? Hey, come on, what are we talking about at the end of the day? The shit you heard on there, NYT on deck. Man, you have to like not shake your head. Don't shake your head, man. Don't use up excess energy. Just stare intensively while you're processing what you're hearing. Don't shake your head. Don't put off any nonverbal cues. Just look at them. And you have those inner conversations. What the fuck are you talking about? God damn, that's a dumbass shit I ain't ever heard in a motherfucking life. You should be having that conversation with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You trying to be a ventriloquist. You know, you're just trying to keep your mouth and lips together, but you be having that inner conversation. What the fuck? God damn, I'm talking some bullshit in the motherfucker. God damn. Like, come on, man. No, man, come on already, dog. Come on, bro. Come on, man. This shit don't make no sense. Samuel, I see you in the building. Salute WCS and the hottest chat in the game, man. Yes, sir. For those of you that pulled up, hey, be sure to hit the like button, man. I had to talk about the snotty boys, man. They cry all the time. Man, they want to cry about, punch resistance. These aerosexuals don't quit, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel no type of way about having some integrity about what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? In order for anybody to talk about punch resistance, where is the documentation? Where's the examinations? Where can you say I did a controlled study of 10 fighters and them losing weight, and I basically put them through a rigorous training regime to go in here as if to simulate them being in a fight? You know what I'm saying? Where's the documentation? What are you going off of to prove to the people that Errol Spence all of a sudden didn't have any punch resistance? And is there documentation in your catalog to where you have mentioned this about Errol Spence before? Because I heard you say that he's taken some shots. We know he's been in some shots before some fights in the accident. We see him take punches from Kell Brooks, Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? We seen him. He took some shots from Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? He took his fair share of shots. But then for them to exclude the accident, they was praising him for the damage that he inflicted on Eudenis Ugas, but come full circle on the damage that was inflicted on him by Terrence Bud Crawford. They're unwilling to accept it, but they will accept Errol Spence beating up Ugas. That is called selective amnesia, ladies. Say he whooped him like he stole something. Errol gonna get put to sleep at 54. They believe 54 is a weight class for him to come in there and be a whole nother person. They don't understand that Look, this I'm trying to explain to him, Blunts, and everybody else in the chat. If this man say he walks around, he's a natural 68 pounder, why would him making 54 be extremely easy? That's going to be a bit tough too if he's walking around higher than super middleweight. Higher than super middleweight. He say he's a natural 168 pounder that has to cut weight down to 47. Right? Let's just say right off the rip, you're looking at 20 pounds. If we're talking about 68, 21 pounds, you're talking about 20 pounds you got to lose. Now, depending on when you choose to lock into your training camp is when all this starts to take place. And we all heard Errol Spence be on record is being a procrastinator. He knows how many weeks he has in training camp, and he'll pick and choose when he chooses to lock in and start forcibly losing all that weight, having fat camps. He's been on record as saying that shit. DJ7, what's good, man? You know what I'm saying, Nick? calling dudes Channing. I'm like, come on, talking about manhood, and ladies, so easy to talk about dick riding. Like, come on, is your focus on just to talk like the fellas, or what? What is that your concern, man? Come on. If we sit up here and talk some shit about the ladies, they want to sit up here talking about sexual harassment. Oh man, and that was too much, man. He went too far. No, come on, man. Y'all think that shit is too easy to talk about shit. When the tables are turned, then oh man, I fear for my life. It's just sexual harassment. Bud sees it like a lady. Bud sees it like a lady you've been after for a long time. She gave you the runaround. Then when she finally gives you the cheeks, it's whack. You don't even want it no more afterwards. Hey, it might have smelled like that old milk in the fridge there, MD. Hey, man. Hey, it might have smelled like the old milk in the fridge. It make you wonder, don't it? If someone's, you know what I'm saying, go to, you know, is the milk isn't right in the fridge. That means they have to relate that to something in their own life. That's all I'm saying. Like something isn't as you don't hear people talking about, oh, the milk is bad in the refrigerator. No, something else is bad now. I'm just saying some of us might be bad now because we just don't hear people talking about the pickles in the jar are salty. Well, the only way that somebody's gonna know the pickles in the jar are salty is what? They ate one of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit is crazy, man. But you spot on with that. You spot on with that right there. That shit is hilarious, man. I'm sorry. And tell me, are you gonna call me when you get on? Yeah, I'm gonna call you. The number you have called has been disconnected. Please try your call again. The number you've called has been disconnected. The number you've called has been disconnected. I'm sorry. The fact these people still think there's just glimmer of hope is really mind blowing. Holy shit, it is mind blowing, man. And look, you have to think about the damage that was basically delegated out to his fans too. You know what I'm saying? They felt it. It's almost like that premonition, that intuition that twins have. You know what I'm saying? You know, these twins have this intuition of that's what's going on with the other twin. Maybe there's some type of you know, force within that the damage that Crawford was meting, you know, the damage that he was delegating out or executing in the ring, it was pretty much being felt by his fans that was in the audience on site and the ones that was in the comfort of their own home. They probably put that hand over their chest because that burning sensation was too much to handle. They was like, oh my God, what? Oh my God, that shit hurt. Damn, for real. So damn WCS cooking these hoes for more than 2 hours. Beware the hot grease. Hey, I mean, I was listening to that shit last night. I say, man, that's some bullshit. It's some bullshit, really. It's nothing against. Look, I don't have no ill will against them ladies, but y'all was on some nonsense, bro. Y'all was on some nonsense. Y'all deserve to be dipped in hot grease. Now, be careful. That's all I'm saying. It's not personal, because I know I've seen one of you all take a shot at me on some personal shit when I didn't go there. Be careful. Thinking Spence had a chance to win either weight class is like picking up a crushed piece of roadkill, trying to perform mouth to mouth. Damn, he talking about damn trying to resuscitate some roadkill, dog. I know I can make this shit work, man. Let me roll you. God damn, your body falling apart. Damn, where's your heart at? I see your heart right here. Let me goddamn slide my hand up on there and squeeze that. Okay, there you go. There you go. Come on, breathe. Damn, this motherfucker ain't breathing. Man, that roadkill ain't coming alive. That shit's been destroyed by multiple vehicles, man. JB's in the building. What's good with it? Punch resistance. No skill gap. In the ring with Christine's much better channel. Ooh, somebody just served up. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just served advantage JB. Somebody just served. They serving for match point. Dodge, what's good? Now it's been a problem for a lot of fights. Meanwhile, the Ugas fight, they were cheering. They was cheering the hell out of the Ugas for being beat up and his eyes swollen shut. You know what I'm saying? His eyes swole shut, man. They was cheering, man. It was all good. He was the eye collector. The rib collector, all that shit, bro. That MF punch resistance is what got him in trouble in the first place. That's why the fight went as long as it did. Lesser man would have gotten KO'd by some of those shots, man. Facts, FACTS, facts in the chat, dog. Facts in the MF and chat, man. Man, y'all on fire, bro. Goddamn, I see y'all goddamn dumping these fish in the hot grease, man. I swear, man. Y'all picked the right day. It's college game day. People gonna be eating all day long, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, man. Call, hey, what's good? Respect to EJ, but I'd rather see the rematch. I'd rather not see the rematch. I hear you, Larry. Shout out to Larry Lopez in the building, man. All I know is after that fight, Bud surpassed Arrow and social media followers. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He did. He did. He said Ugas beat a 2 million-year-old pack, and they hyped this dude up for Arrow. They did, man. He's an 8th division world champion, a legend, a future Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? And they hyped Pacquiao up with no look. They wasn't talking about his age. None. They was like, oh man. Look, when he was about to fight Arrow, they was like, oh man, Arrow gets Pacquiao. Oh my God. They weren't talking about no punch resistance. They weren't talking about no possible punch resistance from Manny Pacquiao being so old. You know what I'm saying? Him having a problem losing that weight. They weren't talking about none of that shit. Nuh-uh. That didn't come up. See, Bud changed a lot of how people look at boxing. He did. The way he went up there and administered, you know what I'm saying, formally administered, because he was on the clock. He was on duty. And you always hear them say they don't get paid for overtime. So Bud was actually at work administering an ass whooping that he had to carry out on Errol Spence Jr. And unfortunately, you know, just like they say the kids, they get traumatized. This is exactly what happened to the Snotty Boys. The Snotty Boys have been traumatized, man. And look, when you watch them in public or on their live streams, they're always angry. And I say, you know what? If you're going to be angry all the time, I'm good. I'm good with seeing that. Y'all always angry. Y'all harvesting all this freaking malice. You know what I'm saying? This belligerence. You know what I'm saying? You harvesting all that negative energy towards Bud. So that means you're not really happy. When you shut down the live stream, you're still angry. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna feel some type of way about me doing a reaction. That's okay. That's okay. Cause look, listen, Queens of the Ring. This shit was absolutely needed for you all. This should be therapy. Because listen, y'all been out here, you know, talking about boxing too long, and people listen. I heard you on the panels. I heard you. Listen, all I was doing is talking about the comments that you made. That's it. That's it. I just think they should be nicely wrapped and put in a hefty bag and tossed into the trash disposal. That's it. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at all. That's all where I'm going with it. But until next time, man, y'all hold it down. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. You know what I'm saying? You choose to donate to the channel. That's where it's at right there. And we should do this again, man. Peace. I'm out. And big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. You already know, A-Side Official.
Left jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.